everyone. Welcome back to the Keep Watching podcast, where we decide what to watch so you don't have to. I'm Sarah.
And I'm James.
And today we're going to be talking about Love Catcher in Bali. Finally getting to this recommendation we've gotten a couple times. James, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling good. I think it's fair to say I was skeptical coming into this TV show.
Yeah.
Because basically we were taking this recommendation from people that were fans of a show that we liked at first, but didn't by the end maybe weren't huge fans of, or mostly in the middle. Yeah. We had our struggles with that show, so I was like, all right, I'm down to watch this show. I didn't have high expectations going into it, but no, this show's got me interested. This show started out hot, and I
fully enjoyed this show.
It's for totally different reasons, and I have a feeling that you and I enjoy this show for totally different reasons, potentially.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, this might be like a great mix of what we both like about dating shows, but it's in the same show somehow. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about this one.
Same, it was great. Regardless of whatever, I'm gonna finish this show. We're only talking about the first 2 episodes today, but I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah. A little bit behind the scenes here, we actually still haven't published our last episode of the podcast, which was The Devil's Plan.
Yeah. Which
I guess people will have already listened to The Devil's Plan, potentially. If by the time they listen to this, we'll see how it gets released. But yeah, people that listen to the Devil's Plan podcast will hear that I was sick in that podcast, and then I just kind of took a week off after recorded that. I didn't even edit it. I just took a week off. But I'm good to go now, and hopefully we'll be back on track here.
We're coming up on Thanksgiving in America next week, so that might get in the way of some of our plans too, but we'll
figure it out. Thankfully, we're not in the middle of a show that's live right now, because but we finally have a date for Singles Inferno 3.
Woo!
Let's
so exciting.
Go. December 12th, which is a Tuesday this time. I swear this show changes what day it comes out on.
As long as it doesn't change partway through season and mess up our rhythm.
Oh yeah. So Tuesday, December 12th will be the first release day of Singles Inferno 3.
Don't know if it's 1 episode or 2.
Yeah.
It's been 2 historically.
It's been 2 a week for 5 weeks to make 10 episodes the first 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It looks, based on just how information is out there, not I don't have this confirmed or anything, but it just looks like it might only be 1 episode that's released on December 12th.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But either way, when we get to December 12th, we will start covering every episode of Singles Inferno.
Yes.
If it's only 1 episode a week, we'll just do 1 episode that week. And we'll do it like that instead of 2 episodes a week, which will actually be easier for us. Even it's more weeks. It's more weeks of Singles Inferno, but
less intense.
Less intense for us. Maybe we can get the podcast out faster, but we'll see.
Yeah. So
hopefully, if they continue to release on Tuesdays, depending on my schedule that week, but I think Thursday, Friday, we can probably get a podcast episode out published.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. Sounds like there's going to be, like I was kind of saying before, there's going to be some kind of twist to it this year. I don't think it's the exact same format. Potentially different paradise location or locations.
Yeah.
And maybe there's more changes than just that.
I think I did see that one of the contestants in last season is now a host.
Oh, really? Which one?
Yeah.
Do you know which one?
The guy that came in late with all the bullet tattoos.
Oh, not that guy. Well, not excited about that, but it's okay.
Well, the host part of this show is always pretty minimal. I think we'll be okay.
Would not have been my first pick. I don't know who I would pick for that. Is there anybody that would be that pumped to be a... Yeah, maybe Nadine would be funny.
I don't know. Yeah, Nadine would be fun.
But she doesn't speak Korean maybe well enough to be a host on a Korean show, but I don't know. Yeah, any other updates? We don't have any comments because we didn't release the last episode. Any other things you want to say before we jump into Love Catcher in Bali?
I'm ready. I'm excited. Let's get into it.
All right. Love Catcher in Bali came out in 2022. It is
Mm-hmm.
actually the 4th season of the show, which is the most recent season of the show.
Yes.
I like that we're jumping. There must be some reason that people recommended we watch this season.
Yeah.
More than it's probably just it might be a character thing or a cast thing. I also think there's just might be some twists in the season that weren't in the first 3 seasons. Like the show, I think has grown over time and has become better, and this is probably just the best version of the show, I would have to guess. So I'm happy to jump in season 4 here. Just probably won't be able to go backwards because I think this is probably the best season, but maybe we'll go forwards. All right, here's a little blurb on the website I figured out how to watch this show on.
Okay, yeah.
Kicking off with season 4, Love Catcher will take place in Bali, a fascinating island to catch the love and money catchers as they play a psychological love game to find true love amidst endless doubts. So yeah, I had my doubts about this show after it was recommended mostly by people. I mean, people that watch Singles Inferno with us, I think, but then they also recommended Transit Love 2 to us, which was the show we
had a little trouble with in the middle,
lost favor with towards the middle of that show. So I was a little skeptical because again, I knew the concept of this show was about like some people are in it for love, some people are in it for money, which already is just a premise that makes it like, oh, a lot of the people there aren't there for love, which is not really.
Which is how I feel about most of these shows.
Yeah,
so it doesn't.
It doesn't change anything for you, but for me, it's like I don't know. It seemed like more of a drama based like dating show as a fun. It didn't. It's not going to be. This show doesn't seem like it's going to be a heart signal, right?
Yeah. We're not going to have a sweet, adorable, calm time.
Yeah. Other than that, I didn't know what to expect, but I was down to watch it, so here we are.
Yeah.
Spoilers, this show's great.
Yeah.
I forget if how in we were on Transit Love when we watched that.
I don't think I felt this in on the first 2 episodes of Transit Love. I was like, yeah, okay, it's sort of kind of what we're used to. We'll see how the X thing goes. But this one, I'm just like, oh yes, I would like more of this, please.
Yeah, for me, I don't really remember. I feel like I was in on Transit Love in the beginning because I liked the detective aspect of it, or the deduction aspect of it, where we're trying to figure out the X's. But this is more of like I think people will have to let us know. I think like the who's in it for love and who is in it for money is not going to be revealed like in the middle of the show. I think it's going to be like an ongoing thing until the end.
Yeah. So
we'll have to play that game the whole time. And like I'm very much in on that aspect, like the deduction aspect of the show. And I'm going into this with a better mindset, I think, than I did with Transit Love, where I'm not like expecting this to be like a quote unquote dating show, really. Almost.
You're not like here expecting people to find true love.
Yeah, like if it happens, like I'm down for it, but I'm not like going into it being like that's the goal of the show. Like because for Transit Love, I was kind of expecting that to be the goal of the show, and then it in my opinion was not. Once I saw it all the way through, I was like, oh, that wasn't really the point of the show. It was more of like an experiment with specifically the X's, and that was the other. Falling in love was kind of a secondary thing.
Yeah.
But this show, I don't even have any. I'm fully down with the show not being about finding love, because it's a very if this show was about finding love, it's a very flawed concept. So from the beginning, it's just like, okay, this is a different kind of show, and what's different about it I actually like. So yeah, what else we need to know about the show? So it's the most recent season. It's only 8 episodes long. First 2 episodes are about 90 minutes each, so it's probably about that. For the rest, what were your thoughts coming into the show, Sarah?
Like I said, it lines up with my general opinion of dating shows, which is most people are not actually here to find love, but now we're going to be a little more honest about it. And I like a good dating show on a beach that always just adds a little something, so the setting is nice. And I was just excited for something like shorter, than the long haul ones we've been in, where like they're in a house for a month or 3 weeks or whatever, and this is just like 8 days. I felt like just right, just a little snack.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only 8 days, so it's closer to like the Singles Inferno
Yeah.
length and also a Singles Inferno aesthetic because they're in.
Hmm.
I I don't know about the first 3 seasons, but this season is in Bali. I believe the other 3 seasons were not, which is a
And they're not like doing
basically
their
a
normal jobs, and they're
yeah.
not like, they're on vacation, just having a little fun.
They're
It's
basically
a
on
light and
like a
breezy vibe.
beach paradise on the island of Bali. It's not like a
Yeah,
small island like Singles Inferno, but yeah,
right.
it's the same idea. My immediate question before I even watched the show that I wrote in my notes was: are people casted as money catchers and love catchers, or like do they do they know what
Yeah.
they are before they're getting casted? And that's still, we don't really know that, but we get to find out at least what the show is going to tell us how they decide what they are. I
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I 100% believe what what's going on in the show when it comes to deciding who's a
Okay.
lover money, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Okay.
The show waits a little while to tell us the rules. I guess it's because it's season 4, but do you want to run through like the rules of the show before we get into
Um,
it? I think because the rules
yeah.
to me were like I was I was interested in the show because I did know the basic concept of it before going in, but it was basically like 30 minutes of in the beginning of them not explaining what the rules of the show were.
Yeah,
And but
yeah.
then when they did explain the rules of the show, I was like, oh, okay, I'm in on this. I was like, I really like the explanation of the rules. So let's just break it down real fast. So it's like the normal rules of all these shows where like they can't say their age and occupation in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Eventually they will be revealed, which is in the second episode, which we'll get to. And I assume that they can lie about their age and occupation, right? If they want to.
Oh, I guess, yeah, there's no mention of having to tell the truth about things, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, based on the video packages we're going to get with them saying their age and occupation, I believe
Everybody
they
told
all
the
tell the
truth.
truth, right? But like, I'm curious, like, if anybody's like going on the show as like a hardcore money catcher and they're like willing to lie and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't
theoretically
think
you can
anybody is
lie.
that hardcore about it, but like, yeah,
Yeah,
you could like make your job more appealing, or make it seem like you don't need to be here for the money, so
yeah.
surely they can trust you.
Or if like you're hitting it off with somebody and there's an age discrepancy, and you might be incentivized to lie about your age.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's what you might do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I don't think anybody actually lies. But I
Yeah.
assume you're allowed to. I wrote this down at the time, but I didn't think about it that much because it wasn't until the very end of episode 2 that they revealed age and occupation. But somebody's age and occupation could definitely be a clue to if they would
Oh yeah,
more likely be a love
absolutely.
catcher or a money catcher. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have to take pictures every day. That was a weird rule. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know why
wasn't
that's a
quite
rule.
sure.
That's like watering the plants rule. I don't know. It's like, why does that have to be in the rules?
Mm-hmm.
Are the pictures gonna like be a part of the show at some point? I don't know how that could be a thing, but
Just an excuse to get people to mingle with each other or something. I don't
okay, we'll see.
know.
Do you want to explain the actual like goal of each
Yeah.
person on the
Okay,
show and what
so
happens? Okay, the identities and then what happens with each identity.
we've got money catchers whose goal is to get money, and we've got love catchers who are theoretically there for true love or whatever.
Yeah,
So when two love catchers become a couple, huzzah, they win. They found true love. They sail off into the
yeah.
sunset or whatever.
They're guaranteed to be together the rest of their lives. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, they did it. Good job. If a love catcher and a money catcher become a couple, then only the money catcher receives a prize, and it's what is it, 50 million won, I believe.
$50,000. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I watched this on a different website than you actually.
Okay.
My translation actually said $50,000. They did a little
Okay.
extra work for me, I think, on my translation.
I think they did it, and then I might have reverse
Oh, okay,
engineered
okay,
it to go back up to one. I don't remember.
okay.
So yeah, and then I guess the love catcher is just sad forever because they picked
Yeah,
poorly.
they're devastated and can't recover.
Yeah, never will
Mentally.
find love again. They are doomed to wander this earth
Yeah,
alone.
yeah.
um, when two money catchers become a couple, they lose out on true love and the prize money. They
Yeah.
get nothing, wander the earth so low and poor forever.
Yeah.
So
And
there we go.
they're barred from ever seeing each other ever again. Right.
Yeah. There's
For
no
sure.
way you could possibly like be in one of these two couples at the end and like meet up after the show and be like, hey, now I've got money and we like each other, or hey, we might be poor but we still like each other. Could never happen. Not possible.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the rules, yeah. So if you're a love catcher, theoretically, we'll start with the theoretically of the show. Theoretically, love catchers are looking to find other love catchers, and money catchers are also looking to find love catchers.
Basically,
And
everyone is trying to find a love catcher.
And everybody's trying to avoid money catchers. Theoretically, that is the premise of the show. All right. I have a lot to say about just the rules of the show and what I would do and all that. Do you want to meet our contestants before I get into that, or what do you? Because that doesn't happen until later.
We're already deep in the rules. Why don't we just talk?
Okay, fine.
Game plan for a little
before we
while.
even meet people. Let's just talk.
I mean, there is one other element wherein they get to actually meet like half of the group of people.
Oh yeah, let's do it in the order the show says, because they're gonna get to choose after they meet each other. So let's just get into the
meeting the people,
and we'll talk about it when we get to the actual choosing part.
Okay.
I was confused to start the show actually because all the people they were showing like in taxis and like talking to people on the beach, they were speaking English, and I was like. Did people recommend this show because it's like Korean people speaking English? I was like, what's going on? and then I was like, oh, they're in Bali. And then I looked up, I was like, okay, Bali is part of Indonesia. So
yeah, so English would be the common language between the locals and the Koreans.
So I was like, okay, they're talking to locals, but they're in Indonesia. So yeah, they're speaking English because that's their common language. Okay, it all made sense.
I was just confused because it's like we have all of our people spread out to the wind and they're not even like close to meeting up to each other.
Yeah, and then we find out somebody says Bali is where people go on their honeymoon. So this is considered a very romantic location, at least for people in Korea.
The show also refers to Bali as the last paradise on Earth a couple times, and I'm like, what has happened to the rest of the Earth? Like,
what about Singles Inferno? Singles Inferno paradise.
maybe it is in Bali. They fly over to Bali for the paradise part. We don't know.
You think that island in the
everything else
way out in
Inferno.
The South Pacific is like they're flying people to Bali in Indonesia?
Yeah. Because it's.
I did look up where that island was. Like, you can look up. Apparently, like, if you have the money and the time, you can just go to Singles Inferno Island, I'm pretty sure. But that's the lore between the two shows. Bali
that's how I'm.
Bali is paradise, and they're both the last paradise on Earth. Okay. All right, and then interesting enough, so everybody's like by themselves, like they're arriving in Bali, right? But then the quote unquote random local they're talking to hands them a letter.
Yes.
And is like, here's a letter. And then they read it. And it's like, they have to choose if they want to go to a luxury restaurant or a beach club. So big decision to start the show. Which one are you going to go to?
At this point, I was already like, what do you mean by beach club? That could mean a couple different things.
Oh, really?
That would change my choice.
That actually is a big thing that comes up. And I didn't even think about it the way that everybody else thinking about it.
Because like, you could have a chill beach club, which is just like, you sit by the beach, you have some food or whatever, or it could be a club, like a nightclub situation. Although I guess it is like the middle of the day. So.
Yeah, what did these people think they were going to be sent to on a Korean dating show? Like, I've never seen like people go to the actual club and like fucking have like a rager on these shows.
I mean, to be fair, we don't know what the first 3 seasons of this show were like.
I guess.
And I don't know. Bali probably, like, when you're on vacation, there's a vibe of you go and party. So maybe
I guess it's like it's like
they're
the first
coming in from that mindset.
I guess it's the first season in Bali, and they're like not in Korea, so they're maybe like, oh, maybe everything's in play this season. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
So which one would you have chosen? You're sitting there, you get this envelope, and you're like, Okay. Luxury restaurant and beach club. That's all you have to go off of. Where are you going, Sarah?
My default would be to pick the luxury restaurant, but then I would be like, no, I'm trying to be out here and be like a person or whatever. I'll go to the beach club where the cool kids are probably at.
So wait, which one are you choosing?
So I would go to the beach club.
You would?
But
Okay, okay.
I would be like forcing myself to go to the beach
Really?
club. Being
Okay.
like, oh, this is probably where like the outgoing people are. I don't want to get stuck with all the shy people because then we won't talk. We'll all just be
Yeah,
shy.
but wouldn't they be more people like you? Or are you not? I mean, would they potentially be more compatible because
Not
they're closer to you?
necessarily.
No? Okay.
It is good to have an extrovert friend when you're like very introverted and then you just follow them around and they're your party buddy. It's fine, you know?
Okay,
Like,
interesting. See,
it works.
I'm going to the beach club, but because there's the word beach on it. And
Okay.
not the word luxury restaurant. The word club didn't affect me at all because I was just like,
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't have any idea that it would be like this crazy social wild party that I wouldn't be fitting in at. I was just like, would I rather go to the beach or a restaurant? I was like, I'd rather go to the beach. Like that's all I had. So the word club, yeah, definitely affected people like the way you're saying it. You noticed it too, but I was definitely more focused on the beach part. So yeah, we'd both be at the beach club, Sarah.
Yeah.
And we'd both be two introverts at the beach club. So maybe
Yeah,
this logic makes no sense.
Maybe. But, you know, it's a way to make a decision.
Okay. Real life talk though. There's no way this production's letting them like actually randomly choose which one they're going to, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
Maybe?
what if you like you're like, I want to go to a luxury restaurant, and then you switch, you're like, nah, people are gonna be at the beach club, and then you're like the only person that goes to the beach club and everybody goes to the luxury restaurant. Because they're all scared of clubs.
I mean, it is 9 people, and we end up with a group of 5 and a group of 4. It's pretty evenly split, so I don't know. I think they might ask them their first choice and then nudge them in a direction depending on how the numbers line up.
Yeah. And my early theory is somebody might be more nudgeable if they were already on the show preparing to be a money catcher. Right?
I guess, probably.
All right.
But at this point, they have not chosen their identities yet.
They have not, but that's my early logic.
Okay.
Or that logic comes up. I didn't actually think about that until I kind of saw what happened. But all right. That's my early.
Okay.
I'm looking for information early here. We talked about it a little bit. You said you didn't have huge reads, right, on people?
Yeah, I don't think I had huge reads on who might be a money catcher. I did find myself watching it a bit optimistically, which is very
Oh my god, we are 100% the other direction on this. This is actually insane. We are fully watching the show 2 different ways. Like 100% differently. This is amazing. Okay.
I was like, well, I mean, also like the hosts talk about some reasons why people might pick to be a love catcher versus a money catcher. Like their take was like, you'd go to this first meeting, and if you don't see anybody you really like vibe with, you might be a money catcher. And I'd be like, I would feel at a disadvantage as a money catcher if I haven't already vibed with someone. I would need to see somebody vibe with me and then go, oh, maybe this is easy. I'll be a money catcher, you know, like. So I already feel like I'm.
Wait,
really? Like,
what kind of logic is that?
Well, like, I just feel like I would fail as a money catcher if I go and I'm like in a group of people and not vibing with anybody. I'm like, how am I gonna like convince any of these people to like pick? So I would feel better failing as a love catcher than failing as a money catcher.
Oh, okay. See, that's weird to me. Well, if you're gonna, I mean, failing is failing. What does it matter which one you are?
Because, like, if I'm gonna waste this experience to try to like get money out of manipulating people, it feels worse to fail at that than just like give it my go and try to have a fun time and then don't find love because it's a TV show. Sure, whatever, fine.
All right. When we get to the choice, I'll explain. I'll explain what I would do and what every single person should be doing on this show.
Okay.
And then maybe I can convince you to change your strategy. All right. Yo, I don't know if this guy's the main host of the show, but he's sitting in the middle, and I was like, I've seen this guy before.
Oh yeah.
And
Hyunwoo, I think is his name.
Yeah, Jun Hyunwoo. Yeah, and I was like, I've definitely seen this guy before, and I looked him up, and I was like, okay, he's in the show Crime Scene season 1 that we watched together.
Yeah.
Which is this like it's like 6 people that are all like, it's basically like a murder
Trying to
mystery.
solve a
It's like,
murder.
yeah, it's like a murder mystery party game, but with a very like they set up like crime scenes
Elaborate set,
yeah,
yeah.
on this yeah. That's a fun show. But yeah, he was on that show. But I'm assuming he's like,
He also hosts a lot of
yeah,
different
he hosts a lot of shows also. But that's
yeah.
the show I knew him from. It was cool to see somebody I'd seen before. It's like seeing Sangmin on
yeah.
on that other show. Heart Signal, yeah.
Yeah.
The hosts actually have different opinions about what this show is about. Because like one of the hosts was like, oh, this show is just about the deduction for me. And I was like, yes, that's absolutely right. And then I think Hyunmoo was like, this is a dating show. Get your shit together. This is serious romance and love here.
At least that's what the script says.
So yeah, if you want it to be a dating show for you, go for it. For me, I'm all about the deduction. To me, I mean, if romance happens, it happens, and I'm here for it. But I'm not expecting it.
Yeah.
To me, once the rules were explained and everything, I was like, oh, so this entire show is like one long game of Devil's Plan. Now, that's basically how I'm watching this show. And maybe that's because I've been watching Devil's Plan and I want this show to be like Devil's Plan. But
Okay.
yeah, it's all about the deduction for me.
Yeah.
I think this show would be so fun to be on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I feel like it would be very stressful.
You can't be serious. Like, we'll talk about when we get to choosing identities. But like, I just don't see how you can like be going into this show as like somebody that's really serious about finding love on the show. Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, go on a different show if you're serious about finding love. But all right, so we got the beach club and we got the luxury restaurant. So how about we break down each of them one at a time in terms of who goes where, right?
Okay.
As we do the introduction. You want to do the beach people first?
Okay.
Or
first
the club
we
people,
get
whatever you want to call them.
We'll go, beach people.
Okay.
Get Kim Hyojin. She arrives and she likes masculine men who have a witty conversation.
She says her nickname is Sejong Uni Goddess. Isn't that what she said about herself?
So
I don't know the reference, but she's like, I assume that like because Uni is older sister or whatever, right?
So or like, was it Uni like university? Like she's the the goddess of the universe, like she's the it girl. I think that's what I took away from it.
I thought it was like she knows that women think she's beautiful or something.
Oh,
like younger women. I don't know.
I think the
maybe somebody can tell us what
spell it out. UNI, so I think it was uni like university rather than like how you'd spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think she's just the it girl or she was the it girl of her school when she went there.
Okay. All right. This is my fun thing to do. I think I did this I at least did it when we did Heart Signal 4, but I like to write down the things the hosts say about people when they first see them. That's one of my favorite things to write down. So here's what they said about Hyojin. She looks like an actress. She's so pretty. She has a nice aura. And she looks exotic.
Okay.
These were things people said within 5 seconds of seeing this person. All right. I guess that's your job. Right. I was thinking about I guess that's your job if you're on the show. Like you're supposed to have some audible reaction to seeing somebody.
Yeah,
right? It's like, okay.
Gotta find a new way to say, oh, here is another hot person.
Yeah, like I get that they're doing it, but it's like it's still like to be like I don't think I'd ever said be like, oh, that person has a nice aura. But like, how could I tell? How could I tell if somebody has a nice aura on a TV screen? Yeah, so like you said, she says she likes masculine men with witty conversation. And I have communicating is important too. So all right, solid.
Yeah.
My thing with her, I think she looks like Jihyo from Twice, which I think we talked about on the podcast. Like, I'm not a huge K-pop person, but if I had a bias, Jihyo would be my bias. So
okay. So does that influence how you watched Hyojin through this?
It influenced my notes and how I thought about her because her name's Hyojin and the person from Twice is Jihyo, so it's like almost just reverse syllables. So a lot of times I started Like in my head, I kept saying like Jin Hyo or Ji Hyo, but it's actually so I might say that wrong on this podcast a lot,
Okay,
actually.
okay.
But it's Hyojin is our first person.
Yes, Hyojin.
All right, who's next at the beach?
Next to the beach is Park Young Ho, who is a guy who is, I think, well, you don't realize it now, but he is on the smaller side compared to the other guys who show up, right? Like he is not your big muscly type, I'd say.
Oh yeah, he doesn't seem like a gym guy.
Yeah, he's not a gym bro. There we go.
Yeah, which is the usual like Singles Inferno casting, and I guess it's kind of similar to this casting as well, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not short necessarily. He's just not a workout.
Yeah. That he's not wide, I guess. He doesn't have the big shoulders, I guess. Is what I was going for.
But Sarah, he's handsome.
Yes.
He looks good natured, and he has a great build and looks nice. So maybe he's a little wide. He's just not the widest.
Well, we do get some very wide boys later.
I don't know what a great build means, but
I don't know. It's different to everybody, you know?
Okay.
By no means did I mean to insult him. I'm just like, if you had to pick him out of a lineup of these 4 boys on the show, he's the slimmer one.
Okay. Actually, honestly, we haven't even seen him with a shirt off, have we?
We have not.
He might be jacked. He's just more modest.
Okay, he might be jacked, but I mean, like, pure mass-wise. Like, he looks a little
hard to tell under these baggy clothes sometimes.
Okay, fair. But yeah, he says he is most excited to see if there is someone who fits his ideal type, and he likes reading and writing and wants to meet someone he can converse with.
Yeah.
So.
And then when he gets there,
seems chill.
When he gets there, he teaches Hyojin the local greetings that he learned from his his cab driver or something in Indonesia. And apparently, there's like, depending on the time of day, there's like a multiple different greetings. So he was like explaining all the different greetings.
Yeah. And then like throughout this show, he'll say some joke that means nothing to me as a non-Korean
he
speaker,
said so many jokes I didn't understand, but they must have been some play on words.
The host reacts hugely to them like they are some bad dad jokes or something.
Oh,
like,
is that what it is?
They are disappointed in his joke game the entire time.
So they're like Korean puns or something, but like they don't come through in English as well. Okay.
Yeah,
because it seems like he likes to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's talking a bit too much though.
Yeah, he's come across as very chatty.
Yeah, not just with Hyojin, but it's like more people come up, he's like always trying to make a joke or like break the ice or whatever. My initial vibe was like, it does seem like his real personality though. Like you could see like if somebody was like, before I realized they hadn't picked yet, I had the perspective that like they already have chosen what they're going to be or know what they are going to be. And that still might be the case, even though they haven't technically chosen yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a little bit of like him overdoing it as a money catcher. Like he's trying to be more social than he would be otherwise. But I kind of read this as
you could also have that motivation for like, if you're actually trying to find love too, you might behave in the same awkward way where you're trying to overdo it too.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, this just kind of seemed like his personality though to me.
Yeah, like he got nervous and started talking a lot is what it felt like to me.
I don't even know if he was that nervous. This is just what he likes to do. It's like Orbit on it's like Orbit on on the Devil's Plan. Like Orbit just
talks about science.
He just talks about science, and you know Yunho just makes bad jokes. That's what he does.
Yep.
If he is trying to be, if like he is a money catcher, he's like a bad one, right? Like this. I don't think these jokes and this extra talking is working in his favor either way right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, who's next?
Next we get Jo Sungbum.
He looks like a model, and a handsome basketball player.
Okay.
That's what he looks like.
Because he is taller.
That's not what he is, but that's what he looks like.
Yeah. Anything else he looks like?
No, that's all they said. Model and handsome basketball player.
All right. Well, he says his greatest asset of his appearance is his height and his build. And there's this quote I have from him, which is, I don't quite get, which is, if a lady could teach me the pros of being younger, it would be a great honor. I guess he's looking for a Nuna? I don't know.
Yeah. So he likes older women. Yeah. I actually forgot that he said that. And I wrote that down too, though. That was very strange. It seemed like every single person was asked in confessional was like, "What's your best physical trait?"
Yeah, yeah.
And we never got the producer acting it. So depending on the phrasing of how the person answered that question, it sounded weirder depending on what
Oh,
people
yeah, yeah,
said.
yeah.
Like
It
someone was
does make
like,
it sound like they're just like, yo, I'm here, my body's amazing, what's up? Which is not what happened.
like at some point, I think the first person we're gonna get somebody that's like, yeah, I think the best thing about me is my shoulders, and
Yeah.
it's like okay, but the production asked you about like what's your best physical trait. You didn't just randomly say that, right? Like it's just
Yeah, like forget my personality,
yeah,
check out this shoulder.
yeah, okay, yeah. So then when Sungboom sits down, though, Young Ho
Mhm.
decides to introduce himself as Hyojin.
It's so weird.
This is the first joke he made. And then Hyojin actually picks up on this quickly and then introduces herself as Young Ho, which is pretty damn good. Like, I think I would have
Yeah.
failed this and not remembered the person's name. I would have been
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I definitely would have forgotten
I would
the
have
name.
just been
That would've
like,
been
he's
embarrassing.
being silly. And then because I
Yeah.
don't know his name in order to continue the joke.
But then like Young Ho takes it a step further and he's like, yeah, some people just tell me I have a women's name. And then Sungbum's like, no, they're being silly.
Yeah,
You're
he
good,
was
man.
not fooled at all because apparently, I guess the normal gender of these names is obvious enough.
Oh,
Like it's
I thought he was being like supportive, like, no, people who say that are silly. You that's not a
oh,
girly name.
I thought he meant like I know that you guys are joking. Those can't be your real
Oh,
names.
maybe. I don't know.
I thought he wasn't fooled
But
at
then
all.
like, well, because then like Hyojin is like, no, I'm Hyojin. He's like, she clarifies the whole thing, and I
Yeah.
don't know if that's because he knew what was going on or didn't know what was going on. I
I
don't
thought
know.
she clarified it because she realized, oh yeah, this joke is not landing, and he's not falling for it. So I'll just tell him the truth.
Oh, I thought she was like, we can't
Okay,
go
I
on
don't
like
know.
this. He must know my real name. So
I don't know.
she fixed it.
I don't know. I thought Sungboon was not fooled. But
Either way,
maybe we'll
an
see.
awkward experience
Yeah, it was
curated
weird.
by Young Ho.
It was weird. I actually kind of like my initial thought on it was like, oh, it was like a fun little test to see if Hyojin like bothered to remember his name.
I guess, yeah.
Like I don't know, but I don't know if he was really playing it from that angle.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was just impressed that she'd remembered his name. So I was like, oh, okay. I was more impressed by her than him for like doing the thing. But yeah. All right, who's next? Who's number 4 at the beach?
Number 4 at the beach is Hwang Suji. She is what did the
Oh,
host say she looked like a doll? I
she?
feel like everyone says she looks like a doll.
I think the participants say she looks like a doll. Oh no, the host says she is like a princess at some point.
Oh, okay.
But what we have to say about Soji is like her walk up music, like the music and everything about her, at least from a editing perspective and production perspective, like they edited her to immediately make her seem like a money catcher. I feel like
Oh,
they gave her
really?
this like badass like music, and she
Mm,
like I don't know how she normally walks. I feel like the walk she did for the cameras, like when she was before like people could see her, was like different than
yeah.
I've seen her walk the rest of this show after that. So I was like, damn, they're like this really seems like some sort of like money catcher vibes, but like it could just be a
Ah.
trick. It could be like an early trick to make
Mhm.
us think she's a money catcher also. So I didn't really invest a lot into it.
Yeah.
But I just feel like she got a really the music in particular was like way different for her. Oh yeah, and then her comments that they showed from confessional were like, she thinks she gets asked out by a lot of men, right?
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
and then her proudest physical feature is her face and physique and her eyes.
Well, but she does
So,
say like, "Must I just choose one?"
oh, is that what she says?
Yeah.
Like she basically says everything about her body is the best
Yeah.
part of
Her
her.
best physical. Yeah.
So her music like and her walk combined with like those things they got her to say in confessional like made her, I don't know, it made it seem like they were trying to paint her as like a money catcher right away.
Mm.
That's what it
Or
felt
at
like.
very least, like an it girl, like, oh, here's the hot one.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And then she says she likes swimming and swimming with the
Yes.
person she likes. and she wants to find true love. And I was like, yeah, right. I'm pretty sure they have everybody saying that. No matter what, everybody said that on camera.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe everybody said both things. I'm here for true love. I'm here for money,
Yeah.
so they can use it as they need to.
Can I share a story about another show I'm watching right now?
Yes.
Because I've always been aware of playing it up in confessional.
Yeah.
And that they're encouraged to do that on these shows. But I'm watching a show right now called House of Villains, which is an American show where they got a bunch of people from other reality TV shows that were like quote unquote a villain in on their show to all like come on this show and basically play like an abbreviated like Big Brother style game together, but they're all quote unquote like bad guys.
Yeah.
Or like willing to like play dirty or whatever. But what's incredible about this show in particular is that like they just straight up show funny production moments behind the scenes that like totally break the normal mold for reality TV, where like this one girl who was on like The Bachelor and like got rejected like very late into the season, or like didn't get a rose very late into the season. She at one point says like something is going on in the show, and then she's in confessional being like, this show is way harder than when I didn't get a rose on The Bachelor. And then they show her then lean forward and say to a producer like, that's what you wanted me to say, right? And the producer's like, yeah, thanks. Like they showed like the show isn't even That's acting amazing. Like it's a real, like the confessionals are real like sometimes. So it's like a neat little like behind the scenes of like, this is actually the length that people go to. And it's like the people that are experienced as like reality TV show people, they don't even need to be told to do it. They just know that the show wants them to do it and they just do it.
Yeah.
Like one of the guys is like from Survivor, and he's like literally starved on Survivor for 30 plus days. And he at some point says, yeah, this show's way tougher than Survivor. Like, and it's like, it's so bullshit because like they're literally living in a luxurious house and eating whatever they want. Yeah. Every day. It's like so I have like a hyper awareness on like, okay, everybody at some point in a confessional say that they're here to find true love on the show. Like it's just a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like just because somebody says it in confessional, just because somebody says it in confessional doesn't mean that like that's their true, like that's an indication of their love or money status and identity. Right. Okay. Sorry, I just thought that was like super interesting about the show I started watching recently.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
All right, so yeah, that was Suji. Young-ho greets her with one of the local greetings, and she has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, it does not work.
And then Songbum is very interested in her swimming immediately when she says she likes swimming.
Yeah.
Potential money catcher strategy right there.
Or also potential interested in a person thing. Yeah, like I think like most of these things you could read either way.
Yeah, you could, but statistically.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was really into the swimming aspect of everything she said all of a sudden.
I mean, but also there is I don't know, there's some point where I think he's talking to her again about it, or somebody else is like, yeah, I'd really love to see you swim. And it's like, yeah, you want to see her in a swimsuit. I get it, dude. Like, calm down.
Oh, that's how you took it?
It could be some other thing.
I just thought it was like a hardcore, like, you said something you're interested in that I know a little bit about, so I'm going to like really hyper focus on this thing.
Also a possibility. Also could be like, I like swimming too. We've got a connection. Like,
and it's not, anything. Nothing's 100%. I have a couple people where I'm going to say I'm 100% sure. Obviously I can't be 100% sure. This is not one of those people that I'm 100% sure about.
Okay.
But you know, it's just like a little early. Maybe seems a little money catchery to be like.
Okay. I mean, I will agree that he seems more like the type I would expect to be a money catcher. You know?
Oh, what does that mean? Explain.
That means like I'm being very stereotypical here.
Yeah,
like,
I want to hear it.
Young-ho seems like a nervous guy that I don't expect to be like a money catcher. And Sungwoo seems like, you know, like a hot fuck boy maybe. So like that's that's how I'm categorizing people right now.
Oh, okay.
It's totally unfair, but that's all I went on pretty much for this whole thing.
Yeah, my read, I didn't have it at this early on, but my read eventually is that like the smarter somebody seems, the more likely they are to be a money catcher.
Interesting.
And I can explain that more when we get to the choosing of the identities. But okay. Um,
Okay, okay.
all right. One more person is going to the beach. We get 5 at the beach and 4 at the restaurant. Who we got? Who's the last person?
The last person, we get one more woman. It is Yu Jong.
Oh yeah. There's also an even split of like the restaurant is 2 guys, 2 girls, and then this is 2 and 3, like 2 guys, 3 girls.
Yeah.
That's a little
It is
sus.
extremely convenient. Yes.
It's like it could have been like,
absolutely.
what if the 4 bros just went to the restaurant and all the girls went to the beach or
This
something?
is why every dating show needs to be just full of bisexuals, and it doesn't matter. Everything's perfect.
I think it doesn't matter because there's a little bit something going on behind the scenes that we don't get to know about. All right. She looks like a doll. So the host said that Yujon looked like a doll.
Okay.
But then the participants are gonna say that Soji looks like a doll. Maybe it might be Yujon that says Soji looks like a doll. Actually,
There's a lot of thrown around somebody looks like a doll.
Is a doll? I couldn't tell. Like, obviously, like doll is like you're saying they're pretty or beautiful or whatever.
Yeah.
But I take it like a little bit negatively. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's not the best. Like, if somebody's gonna say you're beautiful, I feel like being called a doll isn't, because doll is little
I don't love it.
it's a little like it's a little like plastic. Like maybe there's like, could they be saying you've had like surgery, or like also dolls like it sounds like somebody who like doesn't have brains. Also, is like kind of how I associate it with it.
I get all those associated, like that makes sense to me, but I think mostly what people are going for is like I think of like a porcelain doll where like they have good skin and big eyes, maybe, is like I think what the angle is, or at least how I've chosen to interpret it.
Okay.
So it doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, I didn't think they were. I mean, again, this is an English translation to doll, so
yeah.
Who knows what they really mean? So I didn't really take it the way I'm saying it, but I was just saying in terms of like being called a doll in English, I feel like
it's not what you'd love to hear.
I'd prefer you just
say
like call somebody, just say they're beautiful. Like don't.
Yeah.
The word doll like could mean other things in addition to being beautiful. I took it more as like you are very like stereotypically beautiful almost. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be that. I don't know. She says though, Yujon says that she has been told that her beauty is on another level, is the way that I chose to explain what she said. She didn't say it exactly like that, but that was kind of what she said, right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
People say her beauty's on another level.
I think she's like quoting what other people have said to her, and one of them is like, I haven't seen someone like you in 10 years.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what it was. Yeah, it was something like that. But she likes a man who likes her.
Ooh, low standards. Okay.
What? Oh, you think that's low standards?
Like,
I actually like that. I mean, like that. I like that sentiment. But then she follows it up with, she says, "You are the only one for me. You are mine." As like that's what she wants the guy to think of her, and that was like that's a little too much. But the "you are mine" part, and you're the only one for me. Like it's a little too what's the word?
I don't know. There's a possessiveness.
It's possessive,
in there,
but like you're the only one for me is also like true. It's like a little like believing in true love, or like there's only one person out there, or whatever. Yeah. But I like the idea of. I mean, I don't know if you say it out loud, but like I also like people who like me. You know, it's like.
Yeah, but like
I'm more likely to like you.
That being your criteria is just like
that's all I showed her saying.
Well, true. Yeah, that's fair. But like,
it's certainly not her only criteria.
Yeah. But saying like, oh, I just like people who like me. It's like, oh, I like people who give me attention.
I think they put it in there.
Who they are, what they're about is not like the important thing, you know. And that's just why it rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah. Well, I feel like they only showed her saying that because it just makes her sound like a money catcher.
Yeah.
Because a money catcher would just be like, if somebody likes me, I'll just go with that person. Right?
Which is a legitimate strategy that I would employ if I were a money catcher.
Fantastic strategy. Also a great actually finding somebody to match with strategy, in my opinion. I mean, you have to like them too. But
yeah, it's important that you value characteristics of them, and it's not just like, oh yeah, you like me. check, we're good.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's nobody operates like that. Well, not nobody, but
You'd be surprised.
people on this show don't operate like that. That's what I'll say. That's the beach people. All right, let's go to the luxury restaurant. Here's the shoulder boy, right?
Yeah, the first person who shows up is Shonu from Monsta X. No, sorry. It's Kim Yoon Soo Roo. And yeah, he looks like Shonu from Monsta X. And it drives me crazy the whole time. I'm just like, why do you look like him? Stop
Okay.
it.
All right.
He's got the Bratz doll mouth that Shonu has, and it drives me. It's just like I've never seen anybody else who looks like that.
Okay. I don't even know what this means, this mouth you're talking about, but all right.
It's narrow but very like tall.
Okay. I'll have to look at Soru's mouth when I watch more episodes.
But anyway, yeah, he's the guy who says like my shoulders are big, they're great, and he likes to exercise.
Yeah. He's a 4-syllable name, which I've never seen on these shows before.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
So his first name is, or his given name is Yoon Soo-roo.
But he goes by Suru.
Suru, which immediately made me think of the Ted Lasso's Zorro joke. Because it like kind of sounds like Zorro. It's not
okay.
It's not Zorro, it's Suru.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's good looking. He's quite tall, broad shoulders, and he has such a great figure. We find out that he's 185 centimeters later on, which is 6'1".
There we go.
Quite tall.
You love the height info.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I was like, can't just tell me someone's tall and not give me a number. But we got it later. Somebody asked him. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, if he could brag about one thing, it would be his shoulders. That was the out of context quote. That was amazing. He likes to work out. We're going to find out he doesn't drink. And when he says he doesn't drink, he actually means he doesn't drink.
He doesn't drink at all.
This is my dude right here. Because this is going to be like a big topic of discussion. Him when he says he doesn't drink, does it actually mean he doesn't drink? Because like we've had people on these shows who say they don't drink and then they drink on the show. And then it seems like a lot of people, when he says he doesn't drink, like they're actually surprised that means he like literally doesn't drink.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's a thing that people say a lot. So it's like, it's not just on these shows on like, it seems like a common thing that people be like, oh yeah, I don't drink. But then they actually do a little bit. But he actually drinks 0. He's not here for that.
Yes.
He claims that he just doesn't like the taste. That's his reasoning.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, what's interesting about a lot of these restaurant people, like you were explaining before, is that people didn't go to the beach because of the word club, right?
Yeah.
Which could be why he didn't go. I forget if we know why. But it could honestly be why he went to restaurant. But there's other people
who end up at the restaurant who are specifically like...
No, this is important. No, this is important to point out when we get to somebody else. Because, yeah, it seems like people that would be like less down to party basically are coming to the restaurant. Basically, like,
except for one person who I'm like,
except
you
for
seem
one
like
person
you're down to party.
who, I don't know, maybe they didn't get to choose where they went. And they had
Fair.
to come up with some BS excuse why they came to the restaurant.
All right, fair.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, okay.
And he does say he wants to date someone older, right?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
We'll see how that turns out.
Most likely an indication that he's a younger guy, because
Yeah.
he won't have many options if he doesn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
But here we go. Here's, I didn't even know how they were going to pick identities. But let me just lock in my first prediction.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell that this guy is a money catcher.
Wait, really?
No way.
I thought he was definitely a money catcher.
No fucking way. If this guy's a money catcher, terrible strategy.
Oh, I didn't say he was a good money catcher.
But like nobody's this bad. No, like
in what way?
I mean, he is younger, so like maybe he thinks he has to say he likes older women. I don't know. Actually, maybe I don't know. I guess it could go either way. But my thing was, I feel like if you're coming into this going to be a money catcher, like why would you constrain yourself at all, right? Like why don't you just say like, oh, I don't really care about age, right? Like why would you?
I mean, he does say that later too.
He says he doesn't care about he says he doesn't care about the gap in the age, but then when he finds out what the gap is, then he's a little taken aback. So I don't know what his opinion on age really is, but he starts out by being like, I'm into older women, right? Which
Hmm.
I think we have a big enough sample size of this just not being the strategy. If you're trying to,
But at the
like,
time he says it to someone who is presumably a woman who is older than him.
true. Okay. I guess that piece of information was given after that, so maybe all right. Oh, but here's the other thing. Also, refusing to drink, a terrible strategy. If you're a money catcher.
Yeah, but are you going to go on this show as a money catcher and be like, well, I guess I'm not going to stick to my vegan values, even though I want to be a money catcher on this show? Like, I don't think that.
Well, why? Yeah, but it's not like he just doesn't like the taste of it. Like, it's not a value.
I mean, that might be the
That's
easy
totally
excuse
not
because it's
equivalent
easier.
things.
But no, but like if it's something like maybe he doesn't drink because like he's a gym bro and like it's not great for the gym bro experience or whatever. Or maybe he has a weird history of alcohol in his family or whatever, doesn't want to get into it. Or just as a person is just like, I'm not into how people are when they're drunk. It's just easier to be like, yeah, I don't like the taste of it than like getting into it with people, you know?
It's 8 days. I mean, maybe like
Yeah, which is why bother getting into it with people? Just be like, I don't drink, don't like it. End of
you're not.
sentence.
It doesn't make sense. You're not on the show. You're not on the show as a money catcher, and you're limiting yourself this much with your your social abilities.
Okay.
I mean, could he do it? Sure.
I will say
Does
that
it
all of these things right now that you're
like?
saying are limiting him are making him extremely attractive to one woman on this show. She is
Uh,
so into everything he says.
I don't think so. I think she just likes him because he's tall and
No.
shoulders.
It starts. Okay, let's introduce the next woman so I can talk
All
about
right.
her.
All right.
Okay, we get Choi Taeun. She says she thinks there are a lot of charming men out there, but she hopes for a tall one, masculine with a broad back. Okay, so he's
So
in the
Soru.
running to begin with. Yeah.
Okay.
And then she doesn't like drinking, and he doesn't like drinking, so she's like, fuck yeah. And then he's like, I like older ladies. She's like, I think I'm older than him. Fuck yeah. Like everything he says, she is into.
Yeah.
So
Because she might be a
I
money.
don't.
Because she might be a money catcher.
Oh, you think she's a money catcher?
Yeah.
Wow, I think she's a love catcher and he's a money
Oh
catcher.
God. Her.
Okay.
We're gonna find out her age later. She actually is like an older woman, which in pre-thinking about it, before I found out her age, I was like, I guess the older people are more likely to be love catchers. But also young people, like, I don't know. I guess it could go either way. I was thinking like if somebody was like in their 30s, I was thinking they'd more likely be a love catcher. But like,
Okay.
why is anybody a love catcher on the show? All right, we'll get to that. Let me talk about that when we get to picking. All right.
But what did the host have to say about her when she walked in?
Oh, nothing actually.
Oh, really?
Um.
Okay.
Oh, they think. She thinks she's a straightforward and cool person. That's what she thinks about herself. I actually don't have anything that they said for whatever reason.
Okay.
They have extra sexy time music when she meets and talks to when Taeyeon talks to Suru.
Yeah. This has big gonna be like a thing through the season energy.
Okay, my early read on her being a money catcher was just like it was everything just lined up too much with this guy, and it was literally like, okay, she was the second one to enter the restaurant. This is the first guy she's meeting, and she's just 100% mirroring pretty much everything he says.
It's almost like production interview these people and then set them up to be on a dating show together.
I mean, if this was an actual dating show, I would agree with that. But there's a lot more probability. There's a lot more chances on this show that she's just mirroring him. But I might have switched up my notes, but just in my notes right now, I have early money catcher. I forget if I did.
Yeah, I don't know. Like her face just seems so genuine when she seems.
Oh, you're all about the face and their looks. You're just. I guess that's all you have to go.
Like a lot of, yeah, it just seems like a lot of subconscious like facial expressions that maybe he doesn't even see, but she's just like, oh, like checking him out from like the side of her eye while she's talking to somebody else or whatever. Like just, I get a vibe that she genuinely likes him. or is at
Okay.
least genuinely interested in him
I
at this moment.
my reads, I don't think any of my reads are based off looks. It's like personality vibes and their actions.
Well, yeah,
And these actions would make me think she's more likely a money catcher, just because it's unlikely that it's so unlikely that like every aspect of this guy who, on top of it, like most women don't like younger guys. Let's just think about that too, right? There's not a normal thing on this show.
if you're going on a dating show in your 30s, you have to be prepared to like date younger guys. So I
That's
think that
true.
might just be a self-selecting
That's
situation.
true. She's like, look, like she could be looking for somebody who's willing to date. Looking for somebody who's willing to date an older woman because she's expecting to be an older woman on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But also she would be hoping for that if she was a money catcher. So,
well, yeah, that's like literally everything in this show you could rationalize in either direction.
I guess, but at least in my mind, more likely a money catcher.
Okay.
Which kind of goes against my initial thought about age. Maybe that initial thought is not what I actually think now. But right.
Okay. We do get a foot cam between the two of these people.
Oh, we did? I missed
so
that.
You know there's a spark, yeah. Although the table is in the way, so they can't like touch, but like you get a lot of like her feet are moving around nervously and whatever. And it's
I'm pretty sure the music they used for them was like the sexiest music I've seen on any Korean dating show. Yeah, it was a little extra. Here's the thing, though. I'll say this: I did like her, but part of the reason I like her is because I think she's a money catcher, and I'm definitely rooting for money catchers on this TV show. And I don't think that's like I didn't watch the first 3 seasons, and I don't know like what the audience perspective is of the show. My instinct tells me that like you're more likely to be a good guy on the show if you're a love catcher, and you're more likely to be a bad guy on the show if you're a money catcher. But like I am definitely rooting for people to be money catchers on the show. Like I was like, oh, she is like hitting it off with this guy. I hope she's a money catcher because she's crushing it right now. Like that's how I was watching this. So
okay.
Maybe it's a little hopefulness that I want her to be a money catcher too. That's true. That's true for
a little bit of the opposite happening for me, where I'm like, oh, I like her. I hope this is genuine.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Who's next? 2 more people at the restaurant.
Next, we get Park Jung-hyun, who arrives, and I don't know, he's another dude. What
they say? They say that the hosts say that he reminds them of Wonbin.
Oh, yes.
Not
the
Wonbin.
Yeah.
Not Wonbin from Transit Love 2, but Wonbin the actor.
Yes.
Who everybody thought of when they met Wonbin from Transit Love 2.
Yes.
They also say he is so handsome.
Yeah, he says that compliments he has received from women are, "You're handsome," or "You would make a good husband."
Yeah. And he likes to wake up early and work out. Yeah. And then he says he also doesn't drink much, but then he was lying, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He was just trying to fit in, and then...
At first I was like, oh, the first 3 people don't like drinking. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I was like, oh, no, one of them is lying. The other one says they still drink sometimes. Like, chances are they actually drink. Yeah. Oh, we have one more left. These last 2 people, I will say, like, I feel like they're so far the weakest characters on the season for me.
In terms of what?
A little bit of presence, and then also introduce the last girl. I have a lot to say about the last girl.
Okay. This is Hong Sung-yeon. She says her mom went to Bali on a honeymoon, so automatically this seems as a romantic place to her.
I could not get past this statement because she did say her parents went on honeymoon to Bali. She just said her mom went on honeymoon to Bali.
Well, who knows? So, it could have been like marriage number 2 and their stepdad or something, you know?
So
who knows?
Oh, I guess it could be that. I thought it was like either like her father is not a big part of her life and doesn't want to mention him, or the very unlikely scenario where her father didn't go on the honeymoon or went to a honeymoon in a different location.
On separate honeymoons.
Yeah. But okay, so
I just assumed it's like her mom got remarried and her second
honeymoon was in Bali, but she didn't want to say that's not her dad. So okay, all right. Yeah, okay. I think you solved it. That's good. That's a good one.
Or it might just be, both her parents went there and she just
Fuck.
likes her mom better.
Fuck. Fine enough.
Fuck
Don't even
it.
want to mention my dad.
Yeah, who knows?
No, I think they went on separate honeymoon locations. That's actually an incredible concept.
It's
Okay.
a solid strategy.
All
Yeah.
right.
Did the host have anything to say about her?
They said her dimples are so cute, and she has a
Okay.
transparent beauty. Transparent beauty. What does that mean, Sarah?
I don't know.
Her beauty is
That's
just
some combination of
her
words.
beauty's just so obvious.
I guess.
Like
Sure.
I didn't even
Yeah.
have to look. I was just like, this person's beautiful.
Okay.
Just wait, you have to look to see if something's transparent. And she's so beautiful that you just look past her.
Okay.
I don't know if that doesn't make any
that
sense.
works.
I can see
She's
through
so
her.
beautiful you can literally see through her. Yeah, I don't know.
Or she's like, is it like she's so pale that she's
maybe.
transparent, and being pale is beautiful?
Maybe it was
But
just
because she's gonna say
mistake
later,
in translation.
she's gonna say later that she likes guys that are paler than her because it's like an indication of their protectiveness or something, right?
They are smart and use sunscreen. I mean,
maybe-
that's valid.
Yeah, but is she like super pale and she likes people that are even paler than she?
Maybe.
I didn't even notice who was pale and who was not pale on the show.
Obviously, she's a vampire. There we go.
Okay, that's what trans
figured
beauty.
it out.
Oh, transparent beauty. Okay, it's like a nice way of saying she looks like a vampire.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So here's the thing. For whatever reason, I quickly got Money Catcher vibes from her, despite the fact that she did not get Money Catcher music, in my opinion. Like, she did not get the intro edit that Suji got. But her intro was like, there was something weird about her intro where she was like in a fancy red dress, but she was like swinging on this like big giant swing. Did you see this?
Oh yeah, that's like a thing. Like that's an Instagram place or whatever.
It's like a thing,
that's
but
a
like
Bali thing.
It like really stood out to me for whatever reason. Like, I don't know if she decided to do that or what, but like nobody really like stood out to me as doing something kind of ridiculous looking in their intro.
Oh. She was talking about Bali a lot, and I think they were just like, look, Bali, so beautiful. You could do the Instagram thing.
And I feel like her talking about Bali and being like, my mom went on honeymoon, so it feels like fate that like I should meet the person, fall in love with somebody here. That felt very like they were trying to sell her as like a love catcher kind of.
Yeah.
But then her like video package, even though it wasn't, the music didn't go with it, like seemed like, I guess it was more of just, it seemed like she was somebody there to be on TV, which is probably the case for everybody.
Okay.
But for some reason, it gave me just like something about her intro package without the music gave me Money Catcher vibes.
Okay.
But then she's gonna start talking, right?
Yeah. And I automatically know you don't like her. Like, you do not like the vibes from her, right?
I don't like her. Yeah, I guess not. I mean, I don't like a lot of people, but like, me not liking something is not a profound statement, but.
Well, just like I thought, like you would sour on her immediately because like she.
I wouldn't date her.
Like,
yeah, I would immediately not be interested in her in dating. I mean, unless I was a money catcher and she liked me, but.
But she comes in saying she's the one that says she didn't enjoy clubbing, but like she really likes drinking, and then she keeps like talking about how she likes drinking, and she's like, "Oh, Suru, I'm gonna get you to drink before the end of this," and he's like, "No."
Yeah.
And she's just like kind of comes in hot with this drinking energy that I thought would put you off immediately. And it put me off a little bit too. I don't know. She wasn't my favorite in this moment.
Yeah. Before I get more into Song Young, let me say this about the drinking thing and Suru.
Okay.
I don't drink, right, Sarah?
Yeah.
You put me on this TV show as a money catcher, I'll drink.
Okay.
8 days. I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm gonna be like I'll be like a responsible drinker, but like I will drink to socialize and win $50,000 on the show. Like,
okay.
So somebody going out of the way to me to be like, I don't drink, and for these 8 days I'm also going to refuse to drink and potentially isolate myself socially because of it.
I think that's an unfair read because people have different relationships with alcohol. Like,
they do, but I'm
have
just
a past
saying,
problem with alcohol, which like any like straying back into it wouldn't be a good thing. Like, so I don't think that's
It's
really
not.
indicative
It's
of
not a
anything.
100% chance, but I'm saying statistically, this is not a
Mm-hmm.
trait of anybody on these shows. Like, no matter how much somebody said they
It's
didn't drink,
usually
they
like
always
one
drank a little bit.
person brings it up.
Everybody always says they don't drink, but then that person ends up drinking at least a little
That's
bit.
true.
But he
Yeah.
is outright flat saying, "No, I'm not doing it," and he gets
Uh-huh.
pestered to do it a couple times, and he's like, "Nope, not doing it."
So he sticks to his convictions.
That on top of
Yeah.
the actually, I've kind of back and forth now about the saying he's willing to date older women. That could be
Okay.
a money catch. That could be a money catcher angle, actually.
All right.
My other read on him is like he seems like dumb enough to be a love catcher on this show. Which is my personal opinion of being a love catcher on this show. Is just
Yeah. All right.
not ideal. You might have to be a little bit of a sucker to be a love catcher on this show.
Okay.
All right.
Mean,
Let's get back
fair.
to Sung Yeon. So yeah, she shows up in the restaurant, and people are like, "Why'd you choose to come to the restaurant and not the beach club?" Right? People are talking, and then she's like, "I don't like clubbing." Right?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, that's similar to what other people said. But then when they talk about drinking, she says, "Yeah, I drink," and she talks more about drinking. Seems like she might really be into drinking.
Yeah. Maybe she just doesn't like dancing. You know, that's why she didn't want to go to
and then they immediately are like, they're like, "Oh, you must be like really young if you're really into drinking." Like, apparently this is like a young person thing, I guess. Some sort of indication that you're more likely to be young than not.
Right? It does give like here in Bali to party for vacation vibes, which is, you know,
also just like
up with
college student, maybe. Like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Even in Korea, yeah.
I don't know, but I see what you mean. Yeah, I get the same.
So they get a sense she's younger because she's really into drinking, but then like she just keeps talking about drinking. Like
she really.
I mean,
does.
like she goes back and forth with like Jung Hyung a little bit about like what they like to drink. And then, she says something about like, she likes soju more than beer because it doesn't fill you up. And then the host I wouldn't know this, but the host have a reaction was like, "Oh, that's somebody who likes to drink." Like, yeah. It's like, I like the thing that allows me to drink more. You know, it's like, it's kind of what the answer is. Yeah. So she might be like an alcoholic level drinker, this person.
Maybe.
Or like future alcohol. I don't know. So you're talking about drinking a lot. There's no way she didn't want to go to the beach club. There's no way in hell. You can't talk about liking drinking this much and not have chosen the beach club.
Yeah.
And then
most people chose the beach club, and she got stuck having to go to the
restaurant. Was like smart enough to use the excuse of like, "Oh, I didn't like the word club." But I don't know. Yeah. So out of everybody we saw in the introductions, she is the most likely person that did not, like, where she chose to go did not make sense based on everything else she said. Which is indication that like there were 5 people at the beach, right? So if she also chose the beach, it's likely production was like, we got to get one person to switch over to the restaurant, right? And knowing that, you know, she probably was casted. They probably casted her knowing she was planning on being a money catcher on the show. They're like, "Hey, okay, you're a money catcher, right? Like, we need to even these things up. Can you go over to the restaurant?" It's not like.
But where does the assumption she's a money catcher just because like the
ability of
switching locations means that she's I don't,
because a money catcher, like, I guess like theoretically it's unfair to her if like she would have, like, as a money catcher, like she is now denied the opportunity to have vibes with people at the beach club because she was forced to switch. But like, if you're gonna force somebody to switch, I feel like if I'm production, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna try to get a money catcher, a person I know is gonna be a money catcher, to switch before a love catcher person.
I think I would want the money catcher in the group of more people, because the bits of intrigue on the show are going to be the money catchers fucking shit up for the love catchers, right? So I want them in the mix more.
Okay, let's get into choose the identity. I have so much to say. I have so much to say.
Yeah, so at this point, no one has officially chosen.
Theoretically, no one has
Yeah.
officially chosen. So, and then they all get, both things get delivered, both locations get delivered a letter that's like, it's time to choose your identity. And I was like, we're choosing your identity? I thought this shit was assigned by production when we got here. And I still think that that's the case. Like, there's no chance in hell that production is going to let like everybody on the show choose being a love catcher. Would
Yeah.
they? Like, would they do that? Is that a thing that would be interesting? Like, I guess, like,
No.
you still wouldn't know the whole season, so I guess it could work, and then you just get to the end, and it's like, oh wow, that's so cool. Everybody was a love catcher. Isn't that amazing? Because like people would still like the fact that there could be money catchers is still putting pressure on people to like second guess themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess it could work, and maybe production doesn't care how many of each there are. But at the same time, like, does production want everybody to be a money catcher also? And again, like, that's still
not.
interesting, but if theoretically, like, money catchers are bad guys and love catchers are good guys, like, do they want no love catchers on the season? So I have to assume when you try out for the show, you're pretty much telling production, like, this is what I plan on being. And anybody that comes to the show has to know, like, they know what the show is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's crazy to me that anybody would come on this show as a love catcher. So my initial thought was like, you're a fool if you choose to be a love catcher on the show. That was my first immediate thought when the rules were explained. Because, again, like, there's nothing, you can be a money catcher. All that changes, the only difference between being a love catcher and a money catcher is that if you're a money catcher, you might win money in the end. But you don't actually have to behave any differently as a money catcher. You can just, like, get somebody to like you, and then you win money, and then that person can still like you in the end, even though you like, there's not actually any, like, it's fair that they could then be skeptical of you after the fact. But again, this is 8 days, like, no matter what, especially if you haven't even
you aren't forging deep connections. Yeah.
Especially if you're in the casting process and you haven't met anybody yet, like, chances are you should just be like, yeah, I don't expect to meet anybody. I might as well be a money catcher before you even are on the show. So I don't know, every, like, logical person, and again, not everybody's gonna be like me or be like whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But, like, every logical person on the show should just choose to be a money catcher. With the only angle to being a love catcher is because you're more likely to be, like, a good guy on the show. That's the only thing I could think of. And, like, you want, like, you're there, like, everybody here, because going on the show expecting to find love is, like, silly.
Very silly.
It's very silly, right? But if you're like, somebody is like, okay, I want to get my face out there for whatever reason, I want to be on TV. Like, okay, I'm gonna go on the show. I'm gonna be a good guy, so I'm gonna be a love catcher. And then if I get if somebody fools me, like, people will have sympathy for me. That will only work in my favor, right?
Exactly.
And then if I win the show, quote unquote, by finding another love catcher, like, people, that's even, like, bonus on top of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's the angle of being a love catcher. So when we're I feel like when we learn their occupations, like, if somebody has the kind of people that would be a love catcher are the people that are, like, would benefit from being on TV more, actually.
Yeah. I think there's also people who are just, like, here for a fun vacation in Bali, you know? Like,
but even if you
might as well just go and, like, flirt with some people and, like,
absolutely.
And like when I play a, like, hidden role kind of game where I have to lie about who I am, I get very stressed out. So there could be people who are just like, I don't like the idea that I have to, like, lie about what I am on the show. I just want to go have fun, be, you know, on this vacation, be on TV, see what happens.
But you don't have to lie about who you are. You just have to be, like, if somebody, like, I don't even know if they're allowed to ask each other, but, like, if somebody asks you if you're, like, a love catcher or a money catcher, you just say, I'm a love catcher. But you don't have to, like, change your identity as a person. And you don't even have to fake liking somebody if you don't want to. Like, you can just choose to not win the show and still be a money catcher. You know what I mean? So why wouldn't you? Again, like, you could have the same exact attitude that you're saying, where, like, I'm here to have a good time and flirt with people, and I'm going to be a money catcher. because fuck it, I might just win money at the end. Like, what's the downside to being a love catcher? The only downside is that you might be the villain, and if you care about that, that's the only reason. That's the only reason.
You might be the villain, and I could just see it being stressful. Just like, even if
I don't
like,
get
sure,
that.
you can just play it like you're like, oh, 100%. Like you have, you're the reason people are on edge on this show. Like, it's just, I could definitely see it being a stressful experience to be
it's only stressful if you're
villain.
faking anything. If you feel the pressure to try to win at any cost as a money catcher, then there's pressure.
Yeah, I do feel like there's more pressure to like actually like you're trying to accomplish a thing on this show.
Oh,
like that pressure.
Oh, I don't. So I don't see it that way. I would just be a money catcher and then like decide later how hard I want to go. Right now, we had some indication that they might be able to switch later in the season. We're not 100%
yeah,
sure.
It was
about that.
unclear. Yeah,
but I don't know. You just have more things to do on the show if you're a money catcher. Like if you're a love catcher, you could just get into a situation where like, okay, there's somebody that likes me, but I don't really like them back. So it's like, as a love catcher, it's like, what are you doing? Kind of like leading somebody on the show. So it's like you choose, but
well, then you just don't lead them on, and you just
but you can make that same choice as the money catcher. So like if you just choose to be a money catcher, you can decide later, okay, do I really want to be a bad guy and win the money, or do I just lose the show as a money catcher? But
then I just think you're doing a bad TV job. You know?
What do you mean?
Like, if you are coming in as a money catcher, like, production is expecting you to try to win this money.
I mean, they expect that from the love catchers too.
I don't know. It comes back to what I said earlier, where I just think I would feel worse losing as a money catcher than as a love catcher. That's okay. You know?
I am not even close to understanding that.
No?
Okay. Yeah. No, okay. I don't get it at all. Okay. You just have more options.
Like nobody can fault you for not finding love, but they can fault you for being bad at manipulating people, I guess. You know, like you've come here saying like, I'm gonna manipulate somebody into loving me so I get money, and then you just suck at it. Like
on paper, but like,
so you came in with bad intentions and you didn't do a good job. Like, I don't like that vibe.
But you could be a money catcher and not actually do anything and never have planned to do anything. Now, yeah, if you're worried about like the public perception of being a money catcher and that like being a villain, that's the only reason not to do it. But if like this is the only TV show we're ever going to be on, no matter what, it's not going to affect your daily life, you might as well just be a money catcher because you just have more options.
I think the no matter what, it's not going to affect your daily life is a dangerous assumption.
If I choose to be a money catcher, then don't lead anybody on or fool anybody the whole season. How could that negatively affect my life?
Okay, fair.
Like, but if I get to the point in the season, I'm like, oh, this person likes me. Do I like them? I might as well roll with this. Like I whether I like them or don't, I still get something in the end. Like there's something to play for it no matter what, if you're a money catcher, versus if you're just stuck as a love catcher and you're not vibing with anybody that likes you back, like now you're just doing nothing on the show. So, all right. Well, this is crazy. We're totally opposite on
like everything,
every aspect of the DCC show. Everybody that I think is a love
catcher,
we're
still both having a good time. Yep. So far,
yeah. So, like I said, my opinion: you're a fool if you're a love catcher on this TV show. All right. Yeah. So in my like, this is how the show should work universe, every single season of this show should be everybody choosing money catcher and winning no money at the end of the show.
Yeah, that would be a terrible fucking show.
People could still fall in love like that. That's all I'm saying. Like you don't have to behave like an evil person just because you have the identity of a money catcher. Like you could still just play the show.
But then how does anybody trust each other at the end?
It's like a bit awkward if like I choose to be a money catcher and then like I'm really vibing with this person, and then you could do the mental gymnastics of like, all right, well, maybe this, like I really like this person, like maybe they're a money catcher too, like okay, I'll just pick them in the end, and then you pick each other and it's like they're a love catcher and you're a money catcher and you're just like then you have to like it's awkward, right? But you can explain yourself. Like,
yeah, you could be like, look, I have money for us now. Isn't this great? But if there is a chance to switch at any point in the show, Then it becomes extra awkward
Oh yeah, yeah.
if you fall for
No.
someone and then double down on the, I think I just really want this
Oh, if you
money,
had a chance to
though.
switch. No, here's the thing though. If I chose to be money catcher and then like I was really vibing with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably at that point I think I would switch. Like if I really, really like them. Like because if
Yeah.
you switch and then I wouldn't even be I would do that knowing like I'm not gonna be crazy upset if they're a money catcher. But it would like by switching to a love catcher, I would be showing them that like, oh, I'm serious about them, you know,
Yeah.
by doing that.
But
Like I
then,
was willing to give up my chance of winning $50,000 because I wanted you to see that my feelings were real.
and then the best TV would be in a great twist. They were a love catcher, but then switched to a money catcher because they're like, this guy likes me so much. This is gonna be some easy money. And then
Oh,
everybody's sad at the end.
but they would only do that if they thought you were a love catcher, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would. Well, again, like you. Could
Or
just,
if they thought they convinced you to,
they might have.
switch,
They might have just realized that. Oh yeah, I should have never picked picking love catcher early on was such a sucker move. I should have picked money catcher, so they just switched.
If that's how they feel halfway through the show when you already like have a thing going, that feels like a bad sign.
But now the person I really like has $50,000. That's a win-win.
And also maybe doesn't like you that much. Who knows?
Hey, but I mean,
Possible to tell.
regardless of whether they like me or not, like they were gonna like me or not, like regardless of whether they were a money catcher or a love catcher, right?
Theoretically.
Yeah. Whether like yeah. So I don't know. I guess I'm more willing to be a money catcher on the show because I would not be upset as the love catcher. Like it wouldn't offend me if somebody was the money catcher on the show. So because again, like they're not signing contracts that say like if you are a money catcher, you can never see anybody from this show ever again.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's not a thing. So like you can still play the show like a normal dating show and be a money catcher. So
Yeah, but it is still hard to be like, as the love catcher in this money catcher, love catcher couple, it can be hard to be like, figure out if any of the feelings were real or if you were just manipulating them the whole time because you were trying to get some money. Like, it does complicate things.
But honestly, though, that's true on every dating show. Like, let's be real.
I mean, that, yeah.
So
I don't believe in any of them.
You
so
might as well win $50K on top of it.
I guess. It just seems so stressful.
Oh, you could also just like give them half the money. Be like, look, we did this together. I like you. You could give them 30K. You give them all of it if you really like them afterwards. Like
it's only been 8 days. Let's tone it back a bit.
Actually, the move. Like if they picked you as a love catcher, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're the money catcher, and that maybe they actually aren't allowed to do this, but you just be the money catcher so that you only lose if you match with a money catcher, right? And then if they are actually a love catcher and they choose you, you're like, I actually like you too. Here's, you can have the money. And then you just like prove to them. That would be like proving to them that you were serious, right? If you just gave them the money.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, see, there's so much more stuff like more chips on the table if you're the money catcher.
That's true.
Okay. So yeah, so my deduction strategy on this show, Sarah,
yeah.
my deduction strategy is to actually just assume that everybody is a money catcher and try to figure out who's a sucker of enough to not be a money catcher on the show.
Okay. My whole thing is just vibes and just initial feelings, and sure, we'll see what happens.
Okay. I didn't actually think about their occupations and if they would want to be a quote unquote good guy on the show. So when we get to that, maybe we can.
Yeah, I hadn't factored that in.
When we talk about each occupation, we'll say,
yeah.
okay, is this a love catcher occupation or a I don't give a shit money catcher occupation? All right. Anything else about
They all pick their things.
This show, man.
We don't see any of them, and then they go to the house.
Yeah, we don't get to see.
That's pretty much where we at.
Yeah. So now that we talked about this, let me just talk about this now. So we're both going to watch this show, right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. We're not going to get to it right away. Sometime after Singles Inferno, maybe. But we need to do another podcast on the show. And
yeah.
specifically, like, we need to do a podcast where especially now that you and I are just not on the same page on the show. Like, we just need
Uh-huh.
to do one where like where we actually find out what all the identities are,
Yes.
and then talk through. Like, we need to. So what we need to do is, okay. So the listeners have to let us know at what point do they reveal the Love and Money identities. Hopefully, it's at the very end of the show. Because what I want to
Yeah,
do,
then we could watch everything up to
Yeah.
that.
I want to watch.
Podcast about it.
I want to watch
then watch the
everything.
end.
I want both of us to watch everything on the show up until when they reveal the Love and Money identities. And
Mhm.
then we like record a podcast on everything that happened in the season.
Yeah.
We make predictions on a podcast
Yes.
of who's going to be Love or Money. And then we talk through the clues that we use throughout the season to make that guess. And then we like stop recording, go finish the season where they reveal Love and Money, and then like we come back and pick up recording and talk about the outcome of actually finding out who was who.
Yes.
That sounds like a
Hopefully
great podcast, because it sounds like
they
we're gonna
don't-
be 100% opposite
Oh.
of everything, unless there's like more obvious clues later on. But
Yeah.
our vibe reads are total opposite.
Yes. Yes. Which is fun. But yeah, hopefully they don't like gradually reveal people over the course of the season.
Yeah,
'cause
hopefully
that
not.
kind of ruins
That would
that.
kind of ruin that podcast idea. So people let us know. Don't spoil it, but just let us know when they reveal the Love and Money identities. Okay. All right. It's time for everybody to go back to the Love Mansion. I love
Yeah, it's literally called the Love
the
Mansion.
Love Mansion. That's better than Signal House, or it's better than Inferno, honestly, too. I love Love Mansion's probably my favorite name for where the contestants hang out.
No, it sounds a little bit too much like Love Hotel. Not vibing with it. No, thank you.
Oh, that's why it's so good. Okay. The Love Mansion is hella fancy. It's like right on the ocean, and has like a swimming pool. It's like, it's probably the most expensive thing that I've seen on any of these shows in terms of where they live.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those big like open air like living room situations where the weather's so nice that you're outside all the time anyway. And
Yeah.
you have beautiful views of the ocean from the bedrooms.
That's how it was on like Transit Love 2, but this is like 100 times more fancy.
Oh yeah.
The Transit Love 2, okay. Yeah, and the show is only 8 days. So this is, like we said, in Singles Inferno style, but they're in a love mansion instead of a Inferno island.
Instead of tent. Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, there's going to be a welcome pool party tonight.
Yeah.
All right, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So so right off the bat, we're going to get like swimwear, which I feel like even on Singles Inferno, we don't get swimwear like this fast, right?
That's true.
Yeah, so this show's already going into the
show.
This card is going into the aesthetics that I like right away. All right, I have they decide on roommates. I have some notes on roommates.
Okay.
Only because I tried to make clues out of make assumptions based on their interactions.
Interesting. Okay.
You said you did it a lot, so do you... I only wrote down things that I used as clues to decide if they were love or money. I didn't write down a lot of like just these people are cute together or whatever.
I have a lot of these people are cute together.
Oh, really? Okay.
But well, we do have they're all taking their luggage out. We've got Young Ho volunteers to take Suji's suitcase out, which could
not
be
helpful. Anybody could do that.
Evidence for either direction.
Yep.
I don't know.
Unhelpful information.
In her.
All right, so for me, Suji and Taeyeon are roommates. Yep. So that was the doll and the person who likes the muscle man.
Okay,
right.
Sure.
I don't know. I didn't come up with nicknames for these people, so a lot of people that are going to listen to this have already watched the season, but if people are actually following along with us for whatever reason. Soji and Taeyeon, they're roommates. So here we go. So Suji's going to tell Taeyeon that she didn't feel love at first sight with any of the guys.
Yeah. Whereas Taeyeon's like, there's somebody I like a little.
But she doesn't say who, right? Does she say who? Or
she does not say who.
She doesn't at first, but I forget if she did eventually or not. Okay, so it's interesting to think about, because obviously like the conversations you're gonna have with, if you're a money catcher, right? Like the conversations you're gonna have with people of the opposite sex could be different than the conversations you're having with people of the same sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
Soji's telling another woman that she didn't feel love at first sight with any of the guys.
Right.
Love or money. This is all my notes are like. Is doing this more of an indication of love or money?
I think this is just a genuine experience that happened because like she doesn't have to fool Taeyoon at all. Like it doesn't matter. I don't think
Now
this indicates
that's
anything.
your read on. I'm not necessarily talking about the read on Soji specifically or Suji specifically.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying in general is saying that I didn't have love at first sight with anybody. Something you would say is that something you would say as a money catcher?
At this point, if I haven't picked a target yet, maybe, sure. But it was also something I would say if I was a love catcher and didn't vibe with anybody
Yeah,
yet.
nothing I'm saying is like, oh, this 100% means they're this, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying
But what do you think this is? Because I don't
I
think that this would mean anything.
I don't think I'm anything. I think it's more likely that you're a money catcher if this is your initial play, right? Because this is the I'm not committing to anybody strategy, right? Because you're
But
basically waiting to
anything you
see.
say to the other women, like, doesn't matter though.
And it does matter eventually. Like right now, like Taeyeon's not going to go run over to the guys and be like, "This is what she told me," right? But
Mm-hmm.
if there's a guy she likes that she thinks is like
Into
falling
Suji.
in love is into Suji, and she thinks Suji's a money catcher and she has like evidence to support that, or I don't know, like
But
it
this isn't
could
even like
matter.
because it could go either way. Like you could say this is a money catcher or a love catcher. It is just a
I just think this
it is a
strategy of
neutral.
not wanting to get the word out that you've like picked somebody, because like information can spread even though it's just another woman in the house, right?
Yeah, but
You
she's
don't want to give out the
literally not
information.
gotten to meet half of the guys like very closely yet. You know.
I'm not saying specifically Suji is doing this and she's a money
But
catcher. I'm
I'm
just
saying
saying
like saying this at
strategically
a
it
strategically at this time period, you have not met half of the men. It doesn't. It's not a
did
big.
they meet at this
It's a
point? I forget.
nothing time frame. They sat in the same room awkwardly before the TV told
Yeah,
them
yeah, yeah.
about the rules, but they didn't really interact as much. You know, like they didn't interact with the people from the other location. So, like, I just think this time frame is a nothing time frame yet. You know.
I'm not gonna say it's. I definitely wouldn't say it's nothing. The other reason I think it's just a money catcher, it leans money catcher, is just because I feel like the majority of people that are on these shows tend to have a first impression reaction to somebody. So like more people tend to be have now they don't necessarily go around telling everybody that that's the case, but
Mm-hmm.
most people do. Like you line up four guys, five girls, whatever, like you're gonna have some surface level assessment of which one is making you feel a certain way, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
a normal it's not a normal reaction to be like there isn't, at least on these shows it doesn't seem like it's a normal reaction to be like, oh, there isn't anybody I'm interested in. It's not the normal thing to say.
Unless you are, there's no one you are interested in. Like,
Oh
I
no,
think
yeah,
it's just.
I'm not saying that can't be the case, but I'm just saying it leans towards being a money catcher.
I
It's
think
the way that
it was
I would
getting
play
read
it.
into a little too. Okay,
It's the way
okay.
that I would play it if I was a money catcher. Like I wouldn't want it to get out there that like I'm really into a specific person until I felt like that person was into me, because I wouldn't want like the other guys to think I'd already chosen somebody and now I'm really limited on my options.
I mean, same if I'm a love catcher though.
Uh, Depends on how you are as love catcher, because a lot of people on these show are very like, assuming if you categorize every other show we've watched as everybody's a love catcher, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There are there are a number of people, if not the majority of people, that just kind of have first impression reactions to everybody, and then they just get stuck with that person the whole like regardless.
Yes,
Just
but you also know that I hate that.
you hate that, but that's the reality is that that's a large amount of people on the show do that. So that's why
That is
I'm just
true.
taking like statistically somebody who's having this reaction, I would say is not normal and therefore is more likely that they could be a money catcher because of it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just, move the slider a little
Yeah. Yeah.
bit towards money catcher on on Suji.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
even remember where I was on Suji at the end of this. Actually, wait, did I forget to even do predictions? Okay, we're definitely doing predictions after we talk through all this, by the way. I didn't actually write mine down. I forgot to, but
I didn't either. I don't even know
we're
that I've
doing
made a
it.
decision on everyone yet, but I will when we get there.
I have strong opinions on two people, and then I'm willing to make a guess on everybody else.
Okay. Yeah. I'll make a guess. I don't give a fuck. We'll
All right.
figure it out by the end of this episode, but yeah.
Yeah, and then Taeyeon says there's someone she likes already, but isn't willing to say who. So
Yeah.
Again, I actually don't have as much of a memory of like how people of the same sex talk about how they're feeling with each other. That data is not as, I don't remember that stuff as well. So
I feel like
again,
first
she's
date
not,
is always sort of very vague. You know, like nobody is ready to be like.
you don't think the same sex people like share that much information on the first day?
I think they share this surface level of, oh yeah, there was somebody I was interested in, but not.
They don't name names.
Like they don't name names. Not
Okay.
on day one.
That might be the case. Okay. Because again, Taeyeon is not naming names here, which is a like, okay, I don't want it to get out there that I've chosen vibes. Okay. But yeah, like you said, they both just should be shy people who don't want to, aren't too embarrassed to say a name already. That is also likely. Okay. All right. Then we got Yoonho and Junhyun, right? They're roommates. So the funny guy, the not funny guy. And
the guy who thinks he's funny. And
Junhyun ends up being the chef, right? It was just right.
Yes, sure. We'll call him the chef.
Okay. Did you have anything from these two?
They have the best room in the fucking house, and it's so good. And
okay,
it's so gorgeous. That's what I have.
Are you more likely to choose the best room in the house if you're a love catcher or a money catcher, Sarah? Probably money catcher, right? You're like that greedy fuck who wants the best room in the house.
I guess, but honestly, they probably all rock, paper, scissors for everything.
That's true. I think that is what happened.
It's fine. Okay.
Youngho says he has a picky ideal type and isn't sure about any of the women yet.
Yes. But
at first, I was confused, right? Like I wrote like, okay, this guy's giving me love catcher vibes. But then when I thought about it, I was like, oh wait, but that's such a good money catcher answer to what's your ideal type, right? Or like not what's your ideal type.
So far, like he has kind of zoned in a little bit on one woman. Like so far, like he helped her stuff up the.
He helped her with the bags.
You know,
she could have just been there. Yeah. Later on, he's gonna say that woman, so maybe you're right. But like so far, he doesn't like said in confessional or like had a significant interaction. They were both at the beach.
They were both at the beach. Yeah.
But again, he's not saying like to Junghyun like this is the person I like, right?
Yeah.
And he's even being a little weird. Like, have you ever heard somebody say I have a picky ideal type? That's a kind of like a unique thing that he said.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's just like he's very strict about what he likes, and it's a nice excuse to I guess not really explain.
Yeah, I guess if he is telling the truth about having a picky ideal type, you would think that would mean he's not more likely to be a love catcher. But it's also a good thing to say if you're a money. I don't know. I love overthinking this. Then Junghyun says that he actually does name names. He says that Yoojun stood out and has a very exotic appearance.
Yeah. So one guy naming names.
Yeah. I will say about Yoojun, like I agree with this assessment of her. Like she does kind of, I feel like she does kind of stand out.
She did stand out, yeah.
But the fact that he was being so honest gave me love catcher vibes about this. Because this doesn't seem like what you would do if you were a love catcher. But he can also just be he can also be a bro that likes to point out when women are extra attractive. I don't know.
So. This feels like that moment in Heart Signal where wait, who was it that came in and they all went, oh, that's the hot one, you know, they all like looked at each other when she left when Jiyoung came in and
but
they all
nobody
like,
said nobody said like out loud to each other like, man, Jiyoung really stood out. Like it was just kind of like because
they didn't need to. They got to have that moment of eye contact.
Well, why did he say it if they didn't need to?
Because in this show he needed to. He was in a separate place he was at the restaurant while Youngho was at the beach, and I think Yoojung was at the beach too. So he didn't he only got to see her when they were all like watching the rules and that. So he didn't get a moment of bro eye contact, and he needed it now.
Okay.
Or I don't know. Maybe he's really into her. Who knows?
Strategically, I just think if you're naming names early, you're probably a love catcher. But all right.
Yeah. Okay. Unless you really had a vibey moment at the location, the first location.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you thought somebody like you were like, oh, this person likes me back for sure. Like, or this not even
Yeah,
likes me
like if
back,
you
but this
are,
if this person you
if
like know for sure this person likes you, then you probably want to just jump on that as fast as possible.
like I feel like Suru could be that person, like because Taeyeon was like super into him at that first location,
That's what it felt like to us.
making eyes
I'm
at
not
him.
sure if
So, well,
Suru.
yeah, that's true.
We're
He
gonna find
might
out
not have
Suru
picked
didn't
up
pick
on
up
it
on that,
yet.
but again, that is I did take that as an indication again that he's probably a love catcher because he like maybe he actually likes somebody more than Suru and he chose that person instead of taking the easy one, you know.
Yeah, I think he just didn't actually pick up on all the signals that we were getting shown
Okay.
that she was super into him. But if he had like this as a money catcher now, I think it would make sense if he like put her name out there because like if he got strong enough signals for her, you know what I mean?
But how could Jung Hyun have gotten strong enough signals when they weren't at the same
Oh,
location?
I'm not saying that he did.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying like in a situation where I think that Suru is a money catcher and I think that Taeyeon is giving big signals.
Oh.
And if he had seen those signals, then that would be
But
a case where I would make
oh.
sense for a money catcher to put a name out early.
You're saying you still think he's a money catcher because you think he didn't see it, but his actions
Yeah.
would indicate that he's a love catcher if he knew everything,
Yeah.
if he was paying attention.
If he
okay.
maybe. He
Okay.
again, just because I think he's a money catcher doesn't mean I think he's a good money catcher.
Okay.
People could be bad at this game.
Okay. So then, yeah, so Young Hung says that Yu Jong is hot, basically. And then,
Mhm.
and then this was a little bit weird. Yep. Young Ho's a weird guy. I didn't know how to take this. He claims to have bad eyesight after he says this, right? After he points out how hot Yeonjun is. Is this a way of explaining why he didn't notice how hot Yu Jong was? I don't know. I was confused by why this was like the flow of the conversation.
Yeah,
it's like
it was
I didn't
a
really
weird
see her because I have
conversation.
bad eyesight.
Or did he not really see her because he's already honed in on Suji and doesn't want to say it?
I don't know. Why don't
Or
you
maybe
just say
he's just not comfortable with the bro.
why?
Ooh, check out that hot girl talk.
Why mention
I don't
his
know.
eyesight at all? Why?
'Cause
Why
it's-
just?
I don't
Why
know.
not just be like, oh, so you like her? That's cool.
Because
Like,
he is an awkward
how would
dude.
you act on a
That's
normal
why.
show? I don't know.
He's
I don't
just
know.
kind of awkward.
Okay, that's definitely possible, but it's weird. Out of everybody on the show, this guy's unique, right? Like, can you think of another Young Ho type? Like, the closest I could think of, because he's kind of also like the icebreaker person.
Yeah.
It was there was a person in Singles Murder 2 who was like extra social in the beginning. It was kind of the icebreaker person, and then like kind of nobody ever picked him. But he wasn't like he wasn't like he was like a social icebreaker, but like everybody liked him and wanted to be friends with him. But it seemed like the women didn't see him like romantically. Whereas like this guy, I feel like is like awkward, and like isn't making like he's breaking the ice, but also making some situations uncomfortable. I feel like.
Yeah.
So I feel like this guy's like a totally different character, which is like maybe it's like a different casting strategy, or like this guy's behaving in a way where like he's trying to operate as a money catcher. I don't know. Young Ho is like one of the most interesting reads on the show, honestly. He's just he's so unique in my opinion that I can't decide if this is a real person or not.
I don't know. He's
but then
super awkward.
He also
I
like appears like he's smart though, or at least like maybe a little bit nerdy. Or I don't know. And I did have the opinion that like a smarter person is more likely to be a money catcher because I feel like they would just realize that it makes more sense to be a money catcher on the show. But again, that's my perspective, obviously.
Unless he's a smart nerd who's just really, really looking for love, you know?
Yeah. It's just not a common casting choice on this show. So it's just weird.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. That's all I had until it's pool party time.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I feel like all the guys get there first and they're super awkward.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's still
just
four
guys at a pool. Yeah. And then they all clap when Suji and Taeyoon come out, and it's awkward and silly, but you know, it happens.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's basically Singles Inferno when they clap.
Yeah.
Like they don't clap at first, and then they clap for everybody. Yeah, the men's swimwear is like whatever, as usual. They're all wearing like trunks and a t-shirt to start, right?
Yes. To start, yes.
The women's swimwear, though, can I tell me if I shouldn't be saying this, Sarah?
Okay.
Could a women's choice of swimwear be an indication of their identity on the show?
I
Not that
don't
it
see
doesn't have to be, of
why.
course. I'm just saying, should we move some ticks in a certain direction based on outfit choice?
No, because the same.
No,
Because okay,
you
when
refuse to make any to
well,
anything
it's
dating
so
data at all here.
well because it's just so silly to
You don't
me
have to
that
wait for the like. I'm not waiting for like, oh, this 100% means they're this. I'm like, I'm gonna start, moving
no,
people
you're
on the
on a
scale.
dating show. You wear a sexy swimsuit because you're trying to attract a guy, whether you're trying to attract him for love or money.
Oh,
The swimsuit doesn't change anything, right?
uh,
The aim is still the same.
yeah,
It's
yeah. I
attract a
mean,
guy with swimsuit, whether it's
yeah, it
to
doesn't
get
have
money
to
out
mean
of it or
anything.
not. Like, it's effective on both fronts.
Yeah, I guess what it comes down to is like, do you think people are trying harder on the show if they're a money catcher or a love catcher? I guess my assumption is that people are trying harder as money catchers because,
Mm.
again, my perspective is like, how are you seriously coming on the show as a love catcher? Unless it's like you're just trying to be the good guy on a TV show. But if you're just trying to be a good guy on the TV show, like, again, I don't think you're trying as hard to necessarily win the show. You're just like trying to be there. So I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, why would you not be trying to win the show too? Because in
It's not
theory,
that you're
you
not
came here
trying,
for
but
love
who's
or
trying
whatever,
harder?
right?
Like I feel like money catchers are like they're like, all right, I'm motivated. I'm winning 50K if I pull this off. Whereas love catchers couldn't have realistically thought they were going to find love on the show. They don't have an extra incentive to match. They might as well try to match, but again, who's trying? Who's really going to go maybe a little bit extra? That's all I'm saying.
I guess, but also so much goes into like a swimsuit choice beyond like how hard you're trying to like attract a person
Absolutely.
and just like how comfortable they are with what,
Yeah,
they're going to be on TV in this swimsuit. So I did
absolutely.
not I don't even remember any of the swimsuits, honestly.
Yeah.
So I
I
cannot say who wore the sexiest swimsuit,
Oh,
who
you
may be
can't. I
trying
can.
harder or not. Okay, please tell me who wore the sexiest
uh
swimsuit.
I would say that Yu Jong's swimwear might have been a bit extra. I don't mean
Okay.
I don't mean that in a negative way at all. I'm just saying I'm a little more cleavage than we're used to seeing on these shows. That's about it.
Okay.
That's basically
Okay.
the assessment. I think everybody else is modest
Okay.
because yeah, nobody was like wearing a bikini. Like that's not what was going on.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So I don't know. But again, like that could just be Yujun's personality. Like she's a confident person
Yeah.
who wears the swimsuits. I'm not saying it has to mean anything. I'm just saying, maybe she's just trying a little bit harder than everybody else. And to
Okay.
me,
Okay.
that means you're more likely a money catcher.
Okay. Well, then let's talk about the boys who took their shirts off and if they're trying harder or not
Yeah.
in the same
Let's
aspect.
absolutely talk about it. Let's go. Because all the guys surprisingly choose to like either not swim or like go in the water with their t-shirts to start, right?
Yeah. But then Suru takes his off first. Big
Yeah.
money catcher vibes, apparently.
Money
I
catcher
don't
vibes.
know.
Yeah. You could say that. Absolutely. But again, it's weird to me. It is weird to me that like he didn't just start with his shirt off. Like he did go swimming with his shirt on. And I don't know if there
Mhm.
was like a weird vibe among the guys to be like, it's awkward to be the first person. Even if you are a money catcher, like
Yeah.
it's awkward to be the first person to take your shirt off. Because it's a little
Yeah,
more
yeah.
showy than it is like all the women like walk down the stairs together or like whoever was roommates.
Mhm.
Like they just came down together. Like again, none of them were like significantly dressed different than any of like in terms
Yeah,
of
yeah.
I was just trying to get a little bit extra
Yeah,
dinner. That's
yeah,
all.
yeah.
So yeah, if you want to say, hey, he took his shirt off first, I'll move him in the money catcher lane. I'm good with that.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I think everything else is still pointing to love catcher for me, but it's,
I mean, he is also the guy who's like, my
yeah,
shoulders
he's
are my most
he's
impressive
also
thing.
like,
So
this
like,
is like my muscles are my life.
yeah, so like would do the same thing as a love catcher, probably.
Yeah, Suji notices right away that Soru takes his shirt off, and then she says out loud to maybe nobody, she says, that guy just took his shirt off.
Doesn't even remember his name.
I
Just knows that he's
don't
taking
know
his
if she
shirt
was
off.
talking to anybody. I think she was talking to herself.
She's
That
just
guy
like,
just took
shit
his
just
shirt off.
got real.
And then it seems like shortly after, Suru breaks the ice when it comes to taking shirts off. And
Shirts.
then, yeah, Jung Hyun takes his shirt off.
Yes.
Hyojin was surprised by how not cute Jung Hyun's body was.
Yeah,
She was
because
like,
she like referenced his face being cute, but his body was not cute. It
not
was
cute.
something else.
That was funny. Okay. Young Ho doesn't even really want to go in the water at all. They get him to like go on a floaty, but I think he never takes his shirt off, right?
Yeah, he never takes his shirt off, and neither does Sungbum.
Yeah. In terms of not taking your clothes off, though, I couldn't actually decide if that was love or money. Sungbum says that he didn't take his shirt off because he like maybe
He was
felt
like
like the
giving
other
the other
guys.
guys a chance to be like the focus without their shirts.
No, he said it like, oh, the other guys have like better physiques than me. As if like, now he's going to take his shirt off in the morning when he works out. And like, there's no reason that he should not have taken his shirt off, right? So I don't know. That was a little weird from Sungbum.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounded almost to me like he was like, "I'll let them be the shirtless guys now. I'll be the shirtless guy later, and then they won't look twice at these other guys."
Yeah.
But maybe that wasn't what the vibe he was giving. I'm not sure.
Yeah, like that does actually make sense as a strategy to be like, oh, it'll be more of a moment later when I take my shirt off if I do it like later. Or I don't know. But it is a little like too planning in advance. I don't know. I couldn't tell what the guys not taking their shirts off was doing, honestly.
Well, I feel like Young Ho is an awkward guy who didn't want to take his shirt off. It's just what that amounts to.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like if you think
he didn't want to be in the water. He was like, I don't ascribe any extra.
Like I would absolutely like probably keep my shirt on with those guys. With these guys, yeah. That would probably be something I did. I would probably still go in the water though, but I mean, if you go to water with like a shirt on though, like they're basically gonna see your body anyway, right?
Yeah. It sticks to everything, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that was the pool party. Oh, they're gonna do first impressions. Like they're all gonna have a discussion about first impressions. This was an awkward activity.
Yes. It was very awkward, but there were some moments that.
All right, what do you have? I only have a couple of things actually.
Okay, so there is a point where they're talking about Suji, and she looks like a doll, she looks like a princess or whatever, but Sungbum's like, she looks like a dance major, like the ultimate like guy's fantasy of a college girl or something is what he was getting at. I'm like, this bro is laying it on real thick.
Yeah. Is this normal? Is this a thing that people usually do on normal dating shows?
What you mean, like the impression or the very like, you are the ideal woman of all men?
Yeah,
like
that basically
part's too far. Yeah,
like no, but in a full group cast discussion too. Like he's like,
yeah,
he's like you are
awkward.
the perfect woman, like just objectively.
yeah, it is too much.
Love or money? Love or money? What is he doing?
Money.
Here? Money. Okay. I'm down with that read. And then the show is like really selling Suru and Tae relationship early with the not drinking, right?
Oh yeah, they do a little toast, and so she sips a little champagne and like makes a big reaction to being like, oh, it's so gross, I don't like alcohol. And then they go on a little trip to the kitchen to like find non-boozy drinks, which
again was a little bit sus to me.
What was sus?
It's like going out of your way to be like, the alcohol we're drinking doesn't taste good.
Oh well, that just felt like she's just like, look, I feel the same way you, like that read to me as a
you think she would do it either way. You think she would do it either way.
I think she likes him, and she's just like, look, we have this in common, booze is gross, let's go find soda or something. You know?
I mean, that's the narrative that the hosts are pushing, but she's actually not the one that is going to text him. She does text him, but she doesn't text him referencing drinking, which seems like if she was really hyper focused on that aspect of what she was trying to do, she would have, but maybe she didn't. I
think she's just bad at texting, like so many people in these shows.
Okay,
are bad at texting.
That's possible too. All right, I don't even know what I really think about Taeyeon, but I am rooting for her to be a money catcher. I
Okay,
really want
okay.
her to be a money catcher.
I think I'm rooting in the opposite direction. I want her to be genuine. Yeah.
So you want her to be genuine, or well, what do you want Soru to be a love catcher too?
I mean, I would like that to. I would like that, but I don't
So
think
you're
it's
rooting for like
what's gonna
love catchers to
happen.
match. That's like you're kind of like the default what you would assume people
Oh
would be
yeah,
rooting for.
sure. I
Okay.
mean, yeah.
I think that's what most people probably are rooting for on the show. That's fair.
But also just like given all the things we find out by the end of like episode 2 about these two people, like if one of them is a money catcher and they do pair up, I wouldn't believe them as an actual outside of the show couple anyway, just because
It's definitely less likely.
yeah, like if they were both, and not just because of the money catcher love catcher dynamic, just like all the other shit that they have working against them theoretically. I would,
Yeah. I mean,
so
you
if
think
they
that
were
about a
both
lot of
actual
people,
love
maybe.
catchers, it would
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like specifically, these two have a weird age gap, and like things just seem like they're going well, and then get weird by the end of the.
Yeah,
you know,
I think
these
it's a
two
little
episodes.
bit of a lean even more towards like, okay, they're not here for love. But again, this show specifically is like, how is anybody here for
Yeah.
love? But in terms of like liking somebody, I feel like I'm more inclined to like somebody that is going on the show as a money catcher just because it just feels like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what you should be doing. Yeah, so like let's just say you kind of don't watch the show thinking about who's a money catcher and a love catcher. Like if you end up liking a person on the show or like their character or whatever,
Yeah.
the two ways to root for somebody would be like you're rooting for them to be a love catcher and match with another love catcher, right? Or
Yeah.
you're gonna be happy if they're a money catcher and they like fool somebody and they get match with a love catcher, right? So no matter what, like whoever you're rooting for, you're like rooting for them to match with a love catcher. But like I feel like
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the people that I like. I'm rooting for them to like be money catchers and and
But you're
get
still
people
rooting
that
for
are,
them to yeah match with a love catcher. So
yeah.
it's
I
similar.
I guess I'd be happy either way, but like I want the people that I like to be money catchers. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then we get to the point where everybody's saying their first impressions of Tam, and everybody goes except for Suru, and then she specifically points him out and is like, "What do you think?" And he's like, because everybody's like, "Oh yeah, we thought you were cold at first," which is like something she mentions in her intro package. You know, people think she's cold at first,
Okay.
and then he's just like takes a moment and he's like, "Well, I thought you felt like summer." I'm like, "Whoa, this is a big fucking." That's
Oh,
the thing.
the
to say
hosts
to
have a
somebody,
huge
you know?
reaction. I don't.
Oh my gosh. No, it was great. It was a great line.
Is it?
Total money catcher. Yes.
Oh, it's a great
'Cause
money
he's like,
catcher line. Oh,
well,
okay.
no, it is a great line regardless, but like I just don't trust it, so I think he's a money catcher.
Oh,
But yeah,
okay.
no, he's like, she felt warm and refreshing, and oh, it's such a good line.
Okay. But how do you explain him not texting her? We didn't get to that yet, but like, what's your like? I'm
Who
assuming
does
by
he
the end
actually
of this, you're
text?
gonna pick him as a love catcher. I mean, as a money catcher, but like,
Yeah,
how do you
yeah.
explain the text?
Remind me who he texts. Do we know
He
who
texted
texts?
Yojin, I believe. We don't actually know for sure, but that's who I think he texted because we think he did the text that was like good job today, good night, right? Like it was some like really.
Oh, right. It was.
He could have
Yeah, I
texted
think-
Young Yujong, who's the person that Song Boom likes,
Mhm.
or no, not Song Boom.
Yeah.
Whoever Young Ho's your bait was.
Jung Hyun.
Jung Hyung, the person that Jung Hyung
Yeah.
actually named names for lack of a better nickname, the extra hot one. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think he did.
So he
did
definitely
the
didn't.
Good job
text.
today. Good night.
Yeah, he definitely
Yeah.
didn't text Taeyeon. So
Which
yeah.
is why, like,
you're
extra
chalking it up to
thank you
him
so-
not noticing, but he also had the awareness to like use a line on her.
Yeah,
Like, is he using lines on everybody? Is that what you think?
maybe we're not seeing it, or he saw an opportunity here.
I mean, opportunity with everybody. Like, they went around in a circle and was like, "What was your first impression of me?" And they did like everybody says something about everybody.
Yeah, yeah. But she also like specifically called him out and like,
Because he was the last one to go.
I don't know.
But yeah, she did a little extra. Yeah, because she's honed in on him as the target.
or because she's honed in on him because
She's already
he is the
invested
thing she
so
likes.
much of her pretend personality on this guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think he's gonna be particularly good at this game, but
All right. You just think he's a
I just
bad money
think he's
catcher.
a yeah, I think he's a
That
bad money
is
catcher.
possible, but I am going to give people the benefit of the doubt and assume that they're going to make good decisions. And not, I'm going to go by their
Okay.
actions before I go by their, like, looks or like,
Yeah, yeah.
some of this is a little vibes, but,
But like, even if he was a love catcher, like, you're gonna throw this line on a girl and then not text her, like, that's also weird. I don't
I
know.
mean, what if he didn't think, like, everybody else had a huge reaction to it, right? But what if he was just
Yeah.
like, what if he's just like, his brain's just like, yeah, you remind me of summer. I'm a winter guy, but you remind me of summer. But he didn't add that on,
Okay.
but I don't know.
All right. I don't know.
I get like people do these like poetic comparisons of people to inanimate objects or, or objects
Uh huh. Yeah, yeah.
or whatever. I don't have huge reactions to them. The hosts I guess do, but I don't know.
No, this is a great line.
I
Yeah.
mean, even if I was I guess like if say you're a money catcher in this whole first impression scenario,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like I wouldn't know what each girl would like want me to say about them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would just be honest. Like
Okay.
if I had bad vibes about them, I'm not gonna say I had bad vibes about them, but like I would come up with some honest answer of like positivity that I
Yeah.
got from them. I mean, the whole thing is kind of
And
like
say
crazy.
you
Like,
looked like an easy mark. Yeah.
yeah, or like,
Yeah.
yeah. And whether you're love or money, you're not going to be like, you seem like somebody I don't like. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
no one's going to
exactly.
say that. So this could just be the thing that he decided to say about this person. I don't.
But it was real
He
easy to
doesn't
just go along
know.
with what everybody else said, which is like, oh yeah, you seemed cold at first.
That's true. Yeah, I guess it means something. No, I guess I feel like there is an element of him not picking up on how focused she was on him,
Yeah.
but it's possible like he just had vibes with two girls and he picked
Yeah.
not her, right?
And then after he gets a text that is like, I believe it's clearly from her,
Oh yeah.
then he readjusts
He
the
actually
next day,
gets
you know?
actually gets two texts though, right?
He does. But one is like, he figured it out that it was from her, you know?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, he kind of switches when he realizes he knows the person that likes him. He knows one of the people that texted him,
Yeah.
and then the other person who texted him was actually the person he texted. We're gonna find out.
But
But
he
it's
is
less
very
obvious.
confused about that
Yeah,
text.
it's
Yeah,
less
yeah.
obvious that it's her. That's fair. That's fair. You might convince me by the end of this. All right.
Bam.
Yeah, but why the hell isn't he
Or it's
drinking?
also maybe the things you would do if you were looking for love and
Yeah, that's
just
the drinking
yeah.
thing is
It's
just
so hard.
The drinking thing is so weird to me. I don't know if I'm gonna get over it, but
Okay.
the drinking thing and the older women thing, you kind of convinced me. It doesn't mean as much as I thought it did, but yeah, the drinking thing's just weird to me. All right, Hyojin, Yujon, and Sungyun are roommates.
Yes.
When asked, Yujon makes it seem like she's not that excited about any specific guy, which is my money catcher lean vibe, right?
But she also says like if she had to pick, there's one guy that's sort of
She did
you know,
name a name in terms of like this is like the guy I would pick out of anybody, but she spent a lot of time waffling to kind of make it clear that it wasn't anything strong.
Oh, did she even say it to them? I thought she just said it in a confessional.
It's
meeting.
possible she said
Like,
it in confessional. I thought she might have said it to them. I'm not sure, but she does say Soru, right?
yeah, and like
Yeah.
it's literally because he's tall. Like
Yeah, it's like not a personality.
big
thing.
feelings.
Also, this might be my only looks read out of everybody, maybe the swimsuit is also playing into this for me. But Youngjung like seems like someone. My thought about her is like she seems like somebody that would be casted as a game changer potentially on a show. Which
Yeah, I could
like
see
a
that.
game changer also gives me like money catcher vibes as well. So like I feel
Yeah,
like she's
okay.
if like people are casted as specific roles, she just seems like she would be casted as a money catcher. And like the fact and like she's like the edit that Soji got in the beginning opening package when she was like walking to the beach is like the edit that I would expect Yoojung to have gotten, but Yoojung has not gotten that edit, which is I'm like almost like I'm like double reading the edit, basically being like it feels like they're editing her as not a money catcher, but like she would be like so easy to edit as a money catcher. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Which is an indication like the fact that they're not editing her as a money catcher is indicating to me that she is the money catcher. I don't know. I'm willing to go deep into this thought process watching
Okay,
this show,
okay.
but okay. Hyojin says that she thought she was someone that liked someone and keeps liking that person more and more. But she actually changed her mind throughout that first night as to which guy she liked the best. Strategically, Sarah,
Uh-huh.
I love this answer as a money catcher. It is so good. It's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Because it's
Okay.
better than like it's like the same strategy as being like, oh, nobody really stood out to me, but it's actually the opposite where like you're
It's
not
like,
choosing
oh, I like
somebody. Yeah,
everybody. Yeah.
she's like, I was like at different points of the night, I was like really interested in every single guy,
Mm-hmm.
but also she's not giving a name. She's not saying like who she likes the best out of everybody. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's actually like the better version of not saying you
Yeah.
are into everybody. You say like you're into everybody.
'Cause people can't really
Um,
use it against
so
you.
I
Yeah.
love this. I'm an early
I
Hyojin
think
fan, and
Hyojin was
I don't
okay.
actually like even I don't even know if I think she's a money catcher. I just want her to be a money catcher because I just love that answer so much.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
a money
Okay.
catcher, I love that answer. Yeah, and then I don't believe in this roommate conversations that we get anything from Song Young. Song
Yeah, we
Young.
don't.
Like her, she was the one that was like really into drinking, and I had
Yeah.
the early read that she's a money catcher. I wrote this down. This is before text or anything. I said, "Is she an
Uh-huh.
obvious money catcher that no one is going to like?" That's what I
Yeah,
wrote
yeah.
down.
I was getting early vibes that she was going to be a background character. Like
Yeah, and I
I
think it's
didn't think she was
because
a strong contender.
she's
Yeah.
clearly young. I think she's going to be a money catcher. She might be too obvious that she is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she may never get a text the entire season unless they like go on dates and then she gets like a date text.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
she's not going to get in the first episode, and I don't. We didn't get to see a second round of text, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it just doesn't seem like she's going to get much of an edit here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Young Ho says in confessional now, after telling his roommate that wasn't, I guess it was before the pool party, he wasn't like big on anybody yet. But then he's going
Uh-huh.
to say in confessional now, at this point in time, supposedly, Suji has caught his eye more than anybody.
Yeah, they did
Right.
some late night Jenga playing together. We get to see. So it's not just she's hot. They also spent some time together.
Yeah, but
Okay.
he's also like he was like really struggling to sleep, right? So he was like he went downstairs and then she was also downstairs. It was like a little coincidental, right?
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
And like, do you think? I guess like again, like somebody saying like this person's catching my eye now in confessional, like is not an indication of love or money.
Yeah, could be she's catching my eye as a mark.
I did,
Like
yeah,
who knows?
but it did feel a little like again, if you just follow the actions only, it is a little bit of like okay, he didn't have first impressions with anybody, right? He wasn't willing to name a name, and then he coincidentally spent extra time with Suji, and now he's saying that he likes her. Now again, that is could be a normal progression for somebody trying to find love, but also
Yeah, yeah.
it's a very much the path you might take if you were a money catcher as well. So he's just
But
so
like,
weird. I feel like I just
well,
have to
that's
say
why
he's
I
a
think
money catcher.
that's why I think he can't be a money catcher. Because
Oh
this
man,
awkward dude, like, do you think he could handle it? Like, I don't. I think he would just be too much of a mess.
I I, I don't know. Does he seem like again like does he seem silly enough of a person to be on the show as a love catcher?
Yes.
You think so? Okay, what was his occupation? Maybe we'll have to reassess everybody once we get to occupations. But
Yeah. We'll talk
what
about
does
that
he
when we
have
get
to
there.
gain
Yeah.
as a love catcher on the show? I don't know.
I mean, a nice vacation in Bali where he
You
gets
get
to
that
flirt
if
with
you're a money
girls,
catcher. You still get that if you're a money catcher. It's
but
everything's the
without
same.
the stress.
There's
but
no
without the
stress. That's
stress-
just your perspective.
No. Listeners, would you be stressed or not as a
Yeah,
money
that's
catcher
probably
on
the
this show?
biggest
Come on,
question.
you gotta.
Who's right about this? There's no extra stress for being a money catcher. Or
There's
is there?
definitely extra
Okay.
stress, and I don't
That's
think
the
this man
that's the
could-
big
wanted to
debate
deal
here.
with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, is Young Ho? Let's say he is a love catcher. Let's say people are getting the vibe that he is a love catcher, like you, right?
Uh-huh.
Is he an easy mark for a money catcher?
Yes.
You think so?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
But he
So
also, but if he's a love catcher, he might also be one of those stubborn guys who is only gonna be into Suji the whole time, and no matter how hard some poor money catcher tries, she can't draw him away. That
yeah,
might also be a thing.
but Suji seems to be into Young Ho in a
Yes.
way that seems unlikely, Sarah.
I don't know. I don't know.
His skin's paler than mine. I like that. It means he's protective.
Sure.
All right. Oh, this show's so interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. If you were so, let's just say you go on the show as a love catcher, Sarah. Do you really care that much about like really thinking about if somebody's a money catcher or not, or do you just kind of
Yeah, because I wouldn't trust them. Because I wouldn't believe anything they told me during this entire show.
you wouldn't trust them after the fact, but while you're on the show, like do you waste your brain power thinking like, okay, this person seems like they like me, but maybe they're a money catcher, and like you really like
Only if there are two of them. If there's just one, go along for the ride. We'll see what happens. But if there are two people to choose from, then you got to worry about which one is genuine.
Okay. So you would actually consider like let's say like you really like somebody and then you were like you like the other person but it wasn't really like it was significant difference. Like you would actually think about whether or not the person you really liked if they're a money catcher or not and then not pick them potentially.
Well, it's what, 8 days. How big is the significant difference between the two of them? I don't know.
You're
If it's a huge difference, then like the second guy doesn't even matter. But if it's more on par, then it's like, okay, I got a decision to make here. The deciding factor should probably be if
okay.
one of them is lying to me or not.
Okay. I feel like I would just totally ignore that aspect of the show and then just because like if you're wrong, it sucks, right? Like I would be more worried
Yeah.
about like not choosing the person I liked more, and then it was like, oh, the person I chose was a money catcher, and then the person I actually liked was a love catcher. Like that would be so.
But then
That'd be like
again,
worst
at
case
the end of the
scenario.
show, you could be like, sorry, I really just got money catcher vibes from you and got weird. You want to go get coffee. Like, you can fix that.
I guess so, but then I guess nothing matters on the show at that point.
I mean,
might as well just be a
welcome
money
to the world of me watching dating shows.
At that point, you might as well just be a money catcher if the show doesn't mean anything. If getting chosen or not doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
Oh, one more question on strategy here. If you're a money catcher,
Okay.
Sarah,
Yes.
it sounds like you would never choose this, but if you're a money catcher,
Uh-huh.
do you get as many people as possible to like you, or do you go
No.
all in on one person if
You go all in on one person. You have to seem authentic.
you go all in on one person if they seem like they're a love catcher?
If they seem like they're a love catcher and they seem like they're interested in you, you go and you go hard.
Oh yeah, well that's just like dream scenario. But I'm saying like, let's say nobody like you're not getting any like big vibes that anybody's like crazy into you, and you kind of have to either continue flirting with as many people as possible, or you just kind of choose like, okay, this person seems like they wouldn't be a money catcher. I might as well just go with them because that's the person I'll actually win money with. Like I don't waste energy flirting with people with that like you really don't know if they're a money catcher or not. I don't know. I guess you don't know no matter what, but
Well,
like
yeah. It just depends on the vibe of the house. Like, we consistently see on these shows that people just pick one person and go all in on that person for the most part. You don't see a lot of people flirting around a lot.
yeah. I think flirting around
if you're flirting around a lot, you're gonna stand out.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be suspicious.
I agree with that. If the show goes on, like if we get into like deeper into the season and somebody's like definitely still flirting with like multiple people, that is definitely money catcher vibes. But also it's like bad money catcher. I don't know. I mean, there's always like one like the popular people on these shows that get a bunch of people to like hone in on them do like flirt with multiple people. So like,
but there's usually like, I don't know. There usually seems like they're favoring one over the others, or it's just down to two. And I gotta imagine that a lot of that is also up to editing. You know, because the show always wants us to be like, oh no, who are they gonna pick? I feel like in the house itself, though, people probably have a slightly better vibe about what's going on.
Because I feel like if you're just if you're naturally just like the popular person and multiple people are into you, if you can't tell if either of them is love, then you might as well just like keep them both as options until you can figure it out, right?
Yeah, but there is also something, as long as they're the ones coming to you and you're not like
Yeah.
trying to flirt with, like you're not initiating all the flirtiness, then I think you're still kind of safe from that perception of being a money catcher then.
Yeah. You just have to act like I'm just a popular person, I guess. However that
Yeah,
person
it's like,
usually
oh no,
acts.
I'm so burdened with the
Yeah,
choice.
that's why. Yeah, that's the move, right?
Oh,
The popular person always like, this is so hard. It's so hard having
I
everybody like
didn't
me.
want to be the main character.
Oh, it's
No.
so tough being so popular.
Oh, I have so many options of women who are into me. What should I do? Yeah. You whine a bit. You blend it.
Yeah, that tracks. That's the normal behavior on a normal show.
Yeah, exactly.
If everybody's into you and you're just like, oh, I'm so awesome. Like, of course everybody's into me. That's sus as hell.
Oh yeah. Red flags all over the place.
That's like a money catcher who's really feeling themselves.
And then they're in confessional going like, if I get 2 people to pick me, can I get twice as much money? Is that how this works?
No, they would never show that at the confessional. Hopefully, because they're hiding it the whole time. They would show all his bullshit confessionals where he's like in all his confessionals, he's gonna have to act like you would have to act like you're struggling to choose. But I guess in front of other people, if you have to like do it in front of other people where like you're complaining about being popular, you can't just do it in confessional, All right, let's get to the text. We're not even done the first episode. Let's go.
Oh gosh.
The second episode, I think, is less. Well, actually, you said you wrote more, but I think it's less in terms of deduction.
Yeah, it's just a lot of me going like, I like this
Fun
date concept. Yeah. Ooh, did you see him touch her like that? Awesome. That's the second episode for me.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. So this is the same texting we get in all of these shows. Pretty straightforward.
It's anonymous.
Anonymously send somebody a message.
Choose one person and what you want to say to them, and then production passes it along. Yeah. Sarah, who are you texting?
Who am I texting?
Yeah.
Who am I
There's so many perspectives to take on this question, but I just want to see how you answer. And what perspective. I want to see who you're choosing and what's your reasoning.
I'm texting Hyojin.
Hyojin, okay. Why?
Because I think she's cute.
Okay.
Like her.
So you're just okay.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a money. Definitely a money catcher on the show, so I'm texting Subaru.
Okay.
Because he's a love catcher. We can vibe over our not drinking.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
I don't know which girl I've texted, honestly.
Is any of them that
Who's
you like?
the least
You hope that they're a money.
Yeah, the
catcher?
ones I like. Yeah, that's so hard. It's like, man, if I actually like you, like, I hope you're a money catcher. Like, I think I would like you less if you weren't a money catcher. That would mean you didn't choose money catcher, which is clearly the superior choice on the show. That's what really catch-22 for me there. That's rough.
I just think this is not the show for you to
like
find love
I
on.
literally my only option at that point is just to straight up lie to somebody.
Yeah, you chose money catcher.
I just have
to the life.
It's just about figuring out who is the love catcher and then going all in on that person.
Yeah.
If anybody even is a love catcher, god damn it.
Yeah,
who's the
information about
who's the
how
most
many...
likely love catcher on the women's side right now?
Ugh.
I'm definitely not choosing
I think it's Taeyeon. Yeah, no. She's the money catcher.
Taeyeon.
You think she's a money catcher? I think she's a love catcher.
She's in the category of like I don't really know, but I hope she's a money catcher. So the reason I would like her is because I want her to be a money catcher. Such a hard choice.
Yeah, you've made it impossible to pick anyone.
Yeah, I might go Hyojin too, and then I'll just be if she's a money catcher, I'll just be impressed, and then try to. And then if you're still vibing, you'd be like, look, I still like you even though I theoretically tricked you into picking me.
Yeah.
Maybe you were tricking me too, but
Yeah, whatever.
We could
get through this.
I'm down to keep it going if you want. Like,
yeah.
We could fool each other for the rest of our lives.
Now that's a lie. There you go.
All right, yeah. Suru though, he's the person I would pick if I could pick anybody. If I just had to deduce who do I think is a love catcher, I think that's who I would go with on night one.
Okay, interesting.
Is there a deduction strategy for the texts that are sent? Not really. It's hard to tell, right?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. We don't get to know who most of the texts are from. Most people continue to be bad at texting, just like other shows that have texts in them. So,
Yeah. I'm so curious. Like, I feel like people can't be this bad or this timid in terms of not wanting to reveal who they are. But like, are they just getting like? Do some people just get really hamstrung by production, and then like you have to have like a? It's like what gets through here. So like the thing about
I
his
mean,
drinking,
they might edit things out before they send it through. Maybe.
my guess is like if you send a text that they think is no good, they'll just make you like send another one until they approve it.
Yeah.
So like Soru's gonna get a text that says, "I like cola more than alcohol too," right?
Yeah.
And to us, like this actually isn't gonna give away who it is because to us that seems like it's Taeyeon, but it's actually gonna be Yujon.
Yeah.
But because Soru told everybody, right, about his
Mm-hmm.
drinking and what he doesn't drink, right? That's more like public knowledge, right? So maybe production says, okay, you can use that, right?
Yeah.
But like if you had a one-on-one conversation with somebody, I don't know. Maybe they are just bad.
But
in the other shows, yeah,
like
they definitely
Young Ho
use specific
gets
things.
to like Young Ho texts about Jenga that they played together. Like,
Oh, does he? Oh, yeah. Okay, so
yeah,
it is just
like
people being
it's
bad then. Okay,
people are just
yeah.
real bad at texts.
Okay, I wanted to give people credit, but they're just bad. Okay, all right. All right, let's go through these texts quickly because I don't think they're huge.
Yeah.
Although there's a funny moment here that's actually amazing that we do need to talk about.
Okay.
All right, John gets the first text.
I was disappointed that we didn't get to talk a lot. It was hard to approach you because you seemed shy. It's a terrible text.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
bad.
like, who didn't she talk to?
I think
I don't know.
I think the best guess is that it's Jung Hyung, right? Because he was talking about her with Young.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't fit with the other ones that are more clear. So I think that's him.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily have to be, but that's our best guess. I don't think these shows are usually trying to trick you in terms of who's texting who that much. So I would just assume, like, if this was Heart Signal, it would be they want you to be able to guess it properly, right? But they don't do the guessing on the show. How great is it that they don't do the guessing on the show?
Yeah. It's
so good.
Excellent.
Hyojin gets the next text.
Good job today. Good night. Okay, this is the worst text. This is the nothing. Like, who is this from?
Suru, right?
Yeah, this is Suru.
Yeah.
Is the bad text. Yep.
Yeah. Doesn't text the girl that was supposedly being obvious.
Yeah. Didn't say he was good at the game.
Yeah. Also, he texted Hyojin. Oh, he actually doesn't get a text from Hyojin. I got that confused earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. So that could be a reason he switches. Like if he realizes he didn't get a text from the person he texted, that would be a reason. Okay. I don't know how he would know that for sure, but
well, I think it's he doesn't know for sure who the first text comes from. He just definitely knows for sure who the second text comes from. It's like, oh, okay, realign.
Yeah, that does make sense for Money Catcher.
Yep.
Sung Young, this is the third girl in the people that have gotten text so far. In the roommates. So this is amazing. This is so good.
Okay.
Yeah, and all these shows, I think this is the first show that does this. Like, if you're roommates with somebody, or I guess Transit Love did this, right?
Yeah, Transit Love did this.
Okay, but Heart Signal doesn't do this. At least they don't show it to us, right?
Right.
Yeah. But it seems based on the host reactions that this is at least the first time that they're going to show this on this show, like season 4 of the show. Because production is going to troll Sung Young here, where it's like a double move, right? Where they make it seem like to the audience that she's not going to get a text because she heard the other two girls get texts, and then she's sitting there looking at her phone. She doesn't get it. She puts her phone down. She gets up, like walks across the room, gets a drink of water. She looks like she's feeling sorry for herself, like she's not going to get a text. And then her phone goes off. Her phone goes off when she gets back to her bed. And she goes and she gets the text, and the hosts are all like, oh, she did get a text. And then she reads the text, and it says, you have not gotten a text from anybody.
Yeah.
So good.
And then she closes her phone and says, this is fun, to try and cover up the fact that it's not a real text.
Yeah, not very good acting. So good that production does this. Like, I like, don't give the other roommates information. Like, she didn't play it off very well, but like, give the person an opportunity to at least act like they got a text. And not make it, or it gives the person that did get a text an opportunity to act like they didn't get a text, right? If they want to quickly read it and then act sad. So it's so good that production does this.
Yeah.
Again, could be an improvement in season 4 of the show, since the host seemed surprised that they did this. They were like,
Yeah, yeah.
that was so cruel. I can't believe they did that to her. Yeah, she might not get a text the entire show, but maybe
Yeah, yeah.
that's a bad early read. But we'll see.
I agree with that read. Yeah.
Okay. Suji gets a text.
All men's dream, a dance major. I hope you're always bright and happy. I don't love this text, but it is very indicative of who is sending it. So good job to Sungbum.
Yeah, it's weird, but he made it obvious it's him. Although it would be so good if this was not Sungbum. Like, I love the idea of just like, okay, you notice an interaction between two people, but you like that person. I guess it's not a good strategy because they're gonna think that it's that person. But
exactly, you ruin things for yourself.
Yeah, and on this show,
but as a chaos agent, it's funny.
Yeah, I guess there's no strategic reason to actually pretend to be somebody else. I can't think of why that would make sense, but
it's just funny and good television.
Yeah, and then Taeyeon is gonna get 0 texts.
Oh wait! She had a second text.
Yeah, Soji's gonna get the last one because Taeyeon's not gonna get any. There's 5 guys.
Yes.
No, there's 5 girls and 4 guys, so 1 girl had to not get a text, right?
Except
2 girls don't get text.
Except 2 girls didn't get a text.
Suji gets 2, so 2 girls don't get text. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. And it might not have seemed like it, but I was comfortable thanks to you. I'm excited to swim and play Jenga with you some more. Excellent text from Young Ho. Very specific.
That was good.
Good job.
Yeah, and it like explains his weirdness, but
yeah,
it is good. It is a good text. Would he have the guts to send such a good text if he wasn't a money? I don't know about
to
this
read
guy.
And write, so I have some faith that he can put together some words that he doesn't have to say out loud.
Oh man, I just can't. I cannot decide with him.
I think this jives entirely with my opinion of him so far. He's just kind of an awkward dude, does a little better at text than maybe speaking out loud. Totally a love catcher.
Totally a love catcher. I'm still undecided. It's so weird. I can't decide. All right. I said Taeyeon gets 0 texts. So my initial, she was the one that was supposedly hard going after Suru, right?
Suru, yeah.
So my thought immediately was like, okay, so going forward, if she switches to another guy, right, it probably means she's more likely a money catcher, right? And then if she sticks to trying to win over Suru, then that would probably lean her more towards being a love catcher.
Yes.
Okay.
Which in episode 2 she does. So
she does stick with him, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that goes against my wanting her to be a money catcher. All right. Then we go to the guys. Junghyun gets a text.
You're so cute when you smile. It was nice to meet you. That could be anyone.
I believe this is Hyojin for some reason.
How's he supposed to know that?
Oh, he doesn't know. Yeah. But I was just trying to figure it out. It does feel like a Hyojin. I have no
notes next to it.
If Hyojin was sincerely not like she couldn't decide between the guys, it does seem like a text that she would send, like not wanting to feel committed, like she's like confessing basically because she's not making it obvious who it is.
She is also the one that said his body was not cute when he took off his.
Oh yeah. I think that's why. So actually, probably why. I guess
it makes sense.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, she used the word cute. So yeah, like if this was Heart Signal, it would make sense the way that they usually edit that show.
Yeah.
Okay, Young Ho gets 0.
He didn't receive
text.
any messages today. And they have an awkward interaction where he's just like, did you get the text that I got? Oh, wait, if you think they're the same.
See, he sneakily asked Junghyun, he's like, I think we didn't get the same message. And then Junghyun is confused by this statement and doesn't know what it means. And then he can deduce from that reaction that he did not get the message that said nobody texted him.
Yeah.
See, this is like these little like kind of like smart moves that he makes. And I don't know if you want to say pretending to be Hyojin was like a little test he was doing to see if she remembered his name or whatever. But these kind of like sneaky little things he does just give me the vibe that he's like a thinker kind of person.
Yeah.
Which, again, that makes me think that you would more likely be a money catcher on the show.
I can see why you would think that.
Okay.
I think he's just a clever person who didn't pick money.
Didn't pick money. Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
possible. But I think, yeah, okay, we'll see what I say at the end. I actually like, I'm not, I know like the two people I'm gonna say, but like other than that, it's like really hard. All right, Sungbum gets one text.
I thought you were cold at first, but as I got to know you, you were fun. I want to get closer! Exclamation point.
Yeah, and this is Suji, right?
Yes.
I believe it's Suji,
Yes.
which means because
Yes, I
Suji
think so.
definitely. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, we know it's Suji. I think because
Yeah, we get some confessional from her and why she talks a lot about her choices.
because she says she thinks she got a text from somebody that she texted, and then she
Mm-hmm.
says who she thinks she got text from, and then
Yes.
one of them was Youngho, and Youngho didn't get any text, and the other one was Sungbum. So she definitely
Yeah,
texted
yeah.
Sungbum. Now Sungbum's gonna get a second text, and maybe this one could be Soji, I guess. Suji.
It's I was disappointed that we didn't get to talk much today. I want to get closer tomorrow. Also, exclamation point. I think that one's not her because they did actually kind of talk.
Yeah,
They talked a lot about
I
swimming.
think this is Sung Young. The she's gonna be forever the
Mm.
drinking girl in my mind.
Yeah.
I think that's her.
Yeah, I think that makes
I
sense.
think that makes sense. Okay. Suru is gonna get the last two texts.
Suru, I like cola more than alcohol too.
I immediately wrote down, okay, that's Taeyeon, and then we're gonna find
Yeah.
out that
Not her.
it's not. Like they're actually gonna tell us that was Yujon.
Yep. And then the second one was, we kept sitting across from one another. I really want us to get close. I will talk with you more! Exclamation point. And that one's the one from Tam,
That
which
one's
he picks up
Taeyeon.
on because he's like, she's the only person I sat across from today.
Yeah,
So,
and he gets
figured
the
it out.
alcohol, the cola over alcohol text, and it's like
Who
to
could that
him,
be from?
he's like, see, like the show really emphasized what Taeyeon was doing, so we saw it. But I kind of get
But
like
he
from
didn't
his
get it at all.
perspective, as somebody that doesn't drink, like I kind of get the perspective that like, okay, people say they don't drink, but then like I go to a party and they drink. So like, if somebody drank, like everybody that's drinking seems like as somebody that doesn't drink just seems like a person that drinks. So like,
Uh-huh.
see, like the fact that she drank and then said it tasted bad, like I don't know if I actually would have thought that that meant anything necessarily. Like I could see why he
Okay.
didn't notice
Yeah.
these things because he's probably had plenty of people he's met in life that were like, "Oh yeah, I don't really drink either," but like it's different than when he says he doesn't drink, you know. So it's
He
not
doesn't drink at all. They
it's not
drink a little. Yeah.
like it's not a meaningful comment to him for him to say, "Oh yeah, I don't really drink," because unless you actually don't drink, it doesn't it doesn't mean much to him.
Yeah.
So I can see why he didn't notice, which is why I guess I'm a little bit less like, oh, he's reacting to what text he got. Or no, actually, I don't know. I guess it could go either way. It's hard to say.
Okay.
I can't get over this not drinking thing. I just can't do it, sir.
But I think it explains why he did not text Tatum, but once he figured out that she texted him,
Yeah.
he just adjusted course the next day.
Yeah. That does make sense. You're making a lot of sense, but I can't get over this drinking thing.
Just ignore it. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
It's
matters.
like he said, I like to do puzzles. And she's like, I also like to do puzzles. And that's why she's in love with him now. You know, like that's it.
Oh no, I'm just saying from his perspective, the not drinking strategy is just again there
Yeah, I'm
is a
saying
way to
stop
explain it,
thinking
but
about
that
it. Just
way of
ignore
explaining it
it.
is minimal. Is like unlikely.
Okay, so that's all our texts.
That's everybody. All right.
And everybody has a TV in their room where
It's
they're
still
getting
the first
messages from
episode.
time
Why are
to
we doing
time.
2 episodes? This is insane.
I don't know.
We're over the 3-hour recording mark on this podcast. Right now.
We are. We can get through the next one real fast.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
I promise.
All right.
You said you don't have much to talk about. I just gotta say a couple people are cute. We can get through it.
All right.
We
got a lot.
or we'll see.
We got a lot to talk about. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so the TV comes on and it says the secret night is starting, and everybody's like, "What the fuck is the secret night?"
Yeah.
Apparently, a host gets to invite the guest of their choice, and the person invited today is Suji. So she has to go down to the beach.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all we find out about. Like we don't know how the host was picked, if it changes,
Yeah.
what's
the host,
going on.
The host is one of the participants of the show. And whoever is I don't know if it's random or production is choosing based on what they think is best.
Or maybe it's just only money cashers. Who knows?
Production chose somebody some way. and they are the quote unquote
Mm-hmm.
host of Secret Night. Yeah. And then that host gets to choose one person to invite to the beach. And that's all we know right now. Suji gets selected. Everybody in the house sees that she got selected, but they don't know who invited her.
Yes, but in theory, somebody else from the house has to leave and go to Secret
Yeah.
Night.
So, like, logistically, like, for this to actually make sense, like, every single person in the house has to be sequestered
Yeah.
to be like by themselves, and then so the two people can go to the beach, and then the two people come back, and then they can all go back to their rooms like together, basically, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that must be the logistics of it first to make sense. Otherwise, the roommates would just be
Would
like,
figure it out. Yeah.
"Why is this? We're all in our rooms. Like, why is this one person missing?" Yeah. So all right, time for Secret Night.
Okay, so they're like these two huts, and it's like a talking room from Transit Love, basically, where they're in two
Little
separate
bit.
rooms and
Yeah.
get to talk a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a talking room from Transit Love, except one of the identities of the person is known between the two people. So basically,
Yeah.
the host person whose identity is secret is going to type in the chat, right? And then
Yes.
the person whose identity is not secret can just talk out loud, and the person that's in the hut next to them will be able to hear them.
Yeah.
So only one person is typing and the other one's talking. Yeah. So she gets to this online chat monitor, and it says, "Welcome to Secret Night. At Secret Night, you can chat online with whoever invited you. Secret Night rule: the host can hear the guest," which is what I just explained. And then what happens?
Oh, what happens here is a secret between the two. You're not allowed to talk about it.
And then it says on her monitor, "The person who invited you to Secret Night is," and then it seemed like the show, I guess this has never been done on the show, right? Because everybody's like, doesn't know what's going to happen. And it seems like they're about to reveal the name of the person that invited her. But instead of the name, it says the person who invited you to a Secret Night is a money catcher. So basically, like, the money, what this boils down to is like the money catcher or whoever
trying to figure out if she is the money catcher or not. If she's a safe
I don't
target.
I don't know. It depends on who's in there, right?
Yeah.
But what it boils down to is like, if you're selected as a host, you basically have to choose. I guess my question is the person who's the host of Secret Night, do they know that their identity is going to be revealed to somebody? And if so, you have to like choose somebody that you're willing to reveal your like identity to.
Yeah.
Even though you're not really revealing your identity, you're just revealing that like there is a money catcher in the house or there is a love catcher in the house. Also, like, are we assuming that you have to choose somebody of the opposite sex? Is that just an assumption that we can
I think
rely
we are
on?
assuming that. What benefit would you get though from picking somebody you're not trying to seduce?
It more than anything, it's just like you're not giving away information, right? So like the assumption would be like if this was Transit Love and this was the talking room, like you would invite somebody. Well, in that show, it's not really. Both identities aren't known, but like you would. The idea is like you would invite somebody that you're interested in, right? Whether you're like either you're a money catcher and you think that you can. Well, you could be legitimate vibing with them, or like you're trying to see if they're vibing with you, so you can like go after them or whatever. But theoretically, like that's what you would assume people are doing. But then if you're if you feel like you're vibing with somebody, like why, and they know that you're into them, like why would you reveal to that person that a money catcher is interested in them, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I question whether or not the person knows that their identity is being revealed. I hope they do know that, but I could also see the show
especially
not
because
telling
like
them that. I don't know.
But like later in the season, like if you get somebody who is already like if tomorrow it's Suji's turn to be the
she would
host,
know.
She knows
happens.
now.
Yeah.
So she has an advantage over day one host.
Huge advantage. I think it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have to know.
It's only fair if they know that their identity is going to be revealed. Even if their identity isn't being revealed, I do think it's a huge advantage to go later in the season when you just have more time to think about it, or more information to go off of. So whoever got picked here, I think got unlucky.
But also, like they, like right now in the current situation, maybe risk giving away quite as much information. You know, they're not they have that benefit. They're not giving away too much. Whereas later, when you're more locked in, yeah, you might be giving away too much.
So there's only going to be like 3 questions that the money catcher gets to ask. There might be like a limited, like specific questions that you're allowed to ask. I'm not sure how this works. So let's go through what happens here. So
they ask who she sent a message to.
This is awesome, by the way. I love this. Like, I don't know if the previous seasons were like there were no hints at all, like no information exchange, and then this is the first season that they're like, okay, we don't want people to be like, we want to give people something but not really reveal anything at the same time. You could go through the whole season and you just know like somebody could be a money catcher, but for somebody actually see on the screen, like confirming that a money catcher exists in the house is like even more scary. So I like that. I'm sure production chose a money catcher on purpose for this first episode.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, before we continue to what actually happened, Sarah, sorry. Tell me what you're doing if you're Soji in this spot, Sarah.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I'm surprised she just like straight up tells the truth the whole time. Like she does not question whether or not she has to answer any of these questions. She just does, you know? Like
she doesn't answer all the questions, right?
Well, assuming that I just assume her last question of I don't know who you are is an answer that is, you know, straightforward. Like she doesn't know who they are. But you know, they ask who she messaged, she tells them. They ask who she thinks messaged her, she tells them. They ask who she thinks, like, if they're money catchers or love catchers, she tells them. She's just pretty straightforward.
Okay, so but do you think
I don't know that that's the move.
You don't think it's the move. So let's say you're there, you are a love catcher, right? You get this.
Yeah.
You get this. What do you?
Well, if it's a money catcher, there's no reason I need to tell them. I want to tell them the truth about anything, right? Like I do not benefit from them having truthful answers for me.
Okay. Well, let's run through her answers and then we'll critique them if necessary. Okay. So she says, you already said what she says, but let's say specific. So she says she admits that she texted Sungbum, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's how we know she texted Sungbum. She admitted.
Yeah.
Or no. I think we also thought that was the case. She might have admitted it earlier too.
Yeah, there's a confessional or something.
You think she could lie, right? Like she doesn't have to tell the truth. You think that is a possibility?
Well, I don't know. Okay. She never questions it though, and they never specifically say. So I gotta assume you can lie in here.
I assume you can lie too, yeah. And then she admits that she thinks Sungbum and Young-ho texted her, which is correct.
Yeah.
At least, yeah, we believe that's correct. And then she thinks one of them is a money catcher and the other one is Love. Okay.
Yeah.
And then she admits not to the host, but in confessional, she says she thinks she is talking because the host asks her who she thinks she's talking to. She doesn't answer him, but she tells us in confessional, I think I'm talking to Young-ho.
That's right. I forgot about that bit. So she does lie.
Which is saying, which she doesn't lie, but she doesn't give an answer. She says like, I don't know or something. Or I guess that it's a lie because she says it in confessional. But yeah. So she's saying to confessional that like, okay, she thinks Young-ho is a money catcher and Sungbum isn't.
And we also kind of get from this confessional that like she seems to mostly be into Young-ho, but the reason she like didn't text him is because she thinks she's a money catcher.
Yeah. What's so interesting about this though is like I like kind of think this is a good read, but regardless of that, like whether or not she is a money catcher or a love catcher, like if she thinks Young-ho is a money catcher, she's done with him, right? Like
yeah, except that's not how she behaves, right? Like it's
I mean, she tells like production she thinks it's Young-ho, but like there is always the possibility you're wrong. So maybe you don't want to just like make it obvious that you're onto him, or like you think they're a money catcher, so you're gonna like ignore it. Yeah, like there's always a possibility. Now, like, is she more likely to keep him as an option, even though she thinks he's a money catcher? Is she more likely to do that if she's a love catcher or if she's a money catcher? Like, is it either way? There's
no reason to keep him. Either way, you do not benefit from keeping him as an option.
Or either way, you don't benefit.
A money catcher. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I think either way you do, because it's just, you could be wrong, you know? So it's like later on, I could realize I'm wrong, and then at least I've still put in a little bit of work with him, and it could work out.
I guess that's true.
Being willing to play like the long game with somebody is like more of a money like a money catcher mentality, I feel like.
Except she gets to ask questions, and she asks the question of, if you can change your identity later on, would you be willing to change? And so
Yeah.
she thinks it's Young Ho and hopes he's willing to change later on because they have a real connection. So I don't think she's a money catcher.
Okay. That's the narrative they're selling. I don't know if I'm necessarily buying that narrative, but
Yeah, yeah. And this money catcher specifically thinks she is a money catcher too. So I don't know how you're actually supposed to
wait,
acquire
what is the
useful
host saying?
information.
The host thinks
'cause
she's a
she
money catcher.
asks, yeah, she's like, "What identity do you think I have?" And the host is like, "I think you're a money catcher."
I'm down with those two reads, yo. Again, everybody's guilty until proven innocent on the show.
So you think this is Young Ho in as the host, being a money catcher, talking to Suji, who is also a money catcher?
My instincts tell me like Young Ho is too smart. If he knows his identity is going to be revealed, I feel like he's too smart to pick Suji for this. So I actually don't think this is Young Ho. That doesn't mean Young Ho isn't a money catcher, but I don't think this is Young Ho.
But also, like, okay, so maybe it is a woman, and she's just trying to get information that maybe Suji has to just like figure out what her reads are on other people, so she can better pick a. I don't know.
I don't know.
I
Like,
don't know
what do you have to
works out
gain? Like,
either.
you get the like, assuming they're going to answer honestly, you could be like, okay, who did you text? And maybe that's information you would like to know.
And who texted her, so that way you know whose interest is already taken somewhere else, I guess.
Yeah. Who does she think texted her? That could be valuable. I feel like the participants are assuming you have to pick somebody of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is the first time this has ever happened on the show, so I don't know. Now, the season's over, so people know, but like, if you're watching this, I don't know if you can 100% say like, oh, for sure, the show is making it obvious that they have to choose somebody of the opposite sex. In fact, actually, there's something later. Okay, so they're gonna do this like photo shoot date, and they have to pick each other. And I believe in the second episode, I believe, in the instructions for this picking process, it actually says pick someone of the opposite gender you want to go with, and they specifically mention opposite gender
and not here. Yeah. So yeah, I think it could go either way.
They're not specifically telling the participants that the host is choosing somebody of the opposite gender. So yeah, I don't know. Like, okay, if you're selected as the first host for Secret Night, I think a safe play is to pick somebody of the same sex, because then you're just like not handing information over to someone of the opposite sex. But I can't really think about like what you have to really gain by. I would just not want to be the host.
Yeah, you know? I don't feel like you get useful information from
exactly.
this, really.
So that's why I'm kind of just like, I would strategically, I feel like you just want to give out the least amount of information. Like, it's actually like a burden to be the host, not an advantage.
Yeah.
So I don't know. My instincts want to say that it's not Young Ho, though. It just doesn't seem right that it's Young Ho.
Okay.
Now I have no idea who it actually is, but it could definitely still be it could be Sungbum for sure.
Yeah.
But I would not be committing to saying that this was any specific person yet.
Yeah. Got no information on this.
And this is where they brought up the idea of switching, and she said it as if it's like a thing that happens on this show sometimes, but maybe not. I don't know. Listeners can let us know if that was a thing in the first 3 seasons or not.
Yeah.
I like the idea. If you're a money catcher and you're vibing with somebody, switch to love, and see
what happens.
The act of switching from money to love is like more. It's like a bigger statement to me than just like being love from the beginning.
I guess.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess.
I came in here as a dirty money catcher, and you changed me.
I came in here as a piece of shit. Yeah, I mean, it is definitely like,
and you changed me.
There.
You made me a better person.
Versus, I mean, yes, which is an extremely appealing storyline. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely better to be like, hey, I'm just a nice person, and I like you. What's up?
If I'm on the show, that's my best case scenario, right? Like, I want the girl, like if I like a girl, I want her to be a money catcher, and then switch to love for me at the end. Like, she was smart enough to be a money catcher, which I like, but then I won her over, had some money to be love.
Yeah, I see how it's appealing. It doesn't feel like the healthiest
The dream scenario is two
dynamic.
money catchers switch to be love catchers and then pick each other. That's the ultimate love on the show.
That is a good
That
storyline.
is
That would
so
make some
good.
good TV. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah.
couple that'll last forever, right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know about that part, but it's a compelling story.
That would definitely be the most solid couple coming out of the season of any other like
Would it?
possible combinations, right?
I don't know that that's true.
It's more likely to be the best, I would say, than like two love couples from the love catchers from the beginning.
Yeah, but like
choose each
at their
other.
base, they're people who came in here and were prepared to like manipulate
Yeah,
others.
and they
like,
changed
get
for
money.
each other. Like, how does it get better than that?
They could have just been good people to begin with.
Again, being a
You
money
know?
catcher is definitely doesn't make you a shitty person. It's just what you should
It
be doing on
depends.
the show.
It depends on how you play it, okay?
I guess, yeah. All right. Are we ready for episode 2?
Okay, we're gonna blow through this
Yeah,
real
good luck.
fast.
All right, the guys are working out shirtless in the morning. Sungbone
Yes.
goes shirtless and swims laps
Yep.
in the pool,
Yep.
really trying to get noticed by Suji. Look at me,
Well-
I'm
well-
swimming.
We do get Hyojin mentions it to the girls. She's like, somebody's like, "Oh, do you think the guys worked out this morning?" And she's like, "I saw them. They had their shirts off again."
Wait, who said that?
That was pretty funny. That was Hyojin.
Oh, Hyojin. Okay.
We get some more Young-ho.
Young-ho is
Suji
not working out, right?
Flirty time.
It's everybody
He is-
but Young-ho.
he's- Yeah, we don't see him work
Okay.
out.
All
But
right.
he does get some flirty coffee time with Suji in. So there you go. Good job.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay. Yo, Hyungjin and Sungyoung have both broken up with a boyfriend in the last 6 months.
Yep.
Love or money, Sarah?
Those are people who are serial daters who are not used to being single for a long time. They are here for, well, I think one of them's here for money. I think the other one is here for love.
Are you more likely
I
to
don't
be
know.
like a bitter lover who's just like like
No.
if you recently broke up with somebody, I feel like I don't know how recent 6 months is.
I don't know
but-
that that's true because they're definitely just people who like don't like to be single and just like get into a new relationship. as, you know,
You're saying
soon.
that like
And that doesn't mean they're
100% these
bitter.
are these people are.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying there are various kinds of people,
Oh, okay.
but
That
like,
could be okay.
and I think one of them was it Sung Young was like, oh, or maybe it was Hyojin who's just like, oh yeah, I haven't really been single for that long ever. Like she's just like a person she's a relationship person.
Oh,
you
she
know?
said that.
Like,
She said that. Okay.
yeah.
I do feel like, if you're like recently brokenhearted, like you're more likely to be a money catcher on the show. Like you're just like bitter as fuck.
Nobody said they were bad breakups or that they were
They didn't,
particularly long
but
relationships.
I'm just saying,
Okay. I maybe agree on that. I don't know that we have any indication that anyone is bitter here.
Yeah, no, we don't. I'm just saying it's possible. Hyojin actually dated a foreigner, meaning a non-Korean
Yes.
person.
So then all the hosts are like, oh, she's a flight attendant or something or whatever. They're like guessing jobs.
Yeah. All right.
So then they go to breakfast. Yeah.
TV
Whatever. They're at
message.
breakfast.
No,
We're going fast.
it's actually a special brunch.
Okay, I'm sorry. They go for brunch. It's by the sea. It's very pretty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Soji-
They eat some food.
Soji tells everybody about her secret night experience. I believe she doesn't mention if the host was a money catcher. I don't know if she might not be
she
allowed
just
to say
mentions
that.
there. Yeah, I don't think she's allowed to say that. She just said that they were allowed to chat. I think is it, and that she
Yeah.
doesn't know who the person was.
I'm curious if she's allowed to say if she chatted with a money catcher or not. Probably not, because I
Probably
feel like
not.
they don't want people to know that that's a thing until they do it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. She does specifically say like she doesn't know who the guy was, and then Yu Jung's like, "Oh, we've got the 4 guys here, and you're all acting like you didn't know about what this was, so one of you was lying," and gets a little
Yeah.
suspicious.
It could also
whatever,
not
so.
have been a guy, but
But they are all assuming it was a guy. Okay, then they all get boxes full of flowers and cookies, and one of them has a letter that's like, "Okay, today you're gonna go do a photo shoot," and it's like 3 people in a group, so each person pick a person of the opposite gender in turn, and that's how we'll get our 3 groups.
yeah. I did not when they read the instructions.
I did not
had
understand this
no
at all.
idea what they were about to do, and I just watched it. But yeah, basically, Sung Young gets to start, and she picks
She picks
Young Ho,
Young-ho.
and then Young Ho doesn't pick Suji. He picks
Right.
Yu Jong, and that becomes like the first 3
Yes.
people picked became a a threesome that's
became
gonna do
a
a
group.
photo shoot together.
And then Yujun got to pick next, even though she's not gonna hang out with the person she picks. And she picked Suru, who then picked Taeyoon. See, pivoting appropriately. And then she
But
picked
Yujun wasn't.
Sungboom.
Or no. Oh yeah. Was she? He texted Hyujin, we think, and Hyujin was not well, it was an option here. That's true.
Yeah, pivoting.
Okay.
And then Taeyeon picks Sungboom, and then the rest don't have to pick because they're auto paired. So there we go. We don't get any information about what order that would go in.
Okay, so they're in like three teams for 3 different photo shoots. Okay. Oh, the explanation we get on Suru and what he's gonna say is that he, as far as his texting, is that I think he may not have texted her. He didn't text Taeyeon because he thought it was like obvious she was older. So maybe he was like assuming she wouldn't text him or wouldn't be interested in him. Maybe it's like at least the logic that he gives to her.
Yeah, he says that. He also tells her at some point, like, yeah, I wasn't even really thinking about it. Like, first night text is not a big thing. Like, whatever. I only said, like, you did a good job. You know, like, he's blowing it off like it's not even meaningful at all.
Yeah. Which could be fair. Like, I don't know. It seemed like they both realized there was an age discrepancy. I don't know. Whatever. He gave an excuse that, like, kind of made sense to me, so I wasn't, like, full going money catcher, but all right. All right, photo dates. What do you want to talk about here?
Okay, I just love this as a concept for a date on a dating show because you force people to get in close proximity and like do that like forced weird intimacy of looking in each other's eyes for a long time. Yeah. And it makes for a weird dynamic.
Yeah, this was they did this on Transit Love with like Tae and the Game Changer girl. Like, did they do this? It was like half of one of their dates, and like I just thought it was awkward when they did it. I do think it's better here because I feel like the goal here is that like they're actually getting like these photo shoot people to like encourage them to do like intimate positions with each other.
Oh yeah. This is the closest, most contact of like any dating show ever. I swear.
Yeah,
or at least Korean dating show. You know, they're all like standing closer, holding hands, putting arms around each other. It got spicy for a Korean dating show, I gotta say. At least every other shot, the hosts are just like, "Oh my god, he touched what?" And it's
I guess the hosts were going crazy. That's true. Yeah. I was like more paying attention to like who was into it versus who was like awkward about it.
That is also something I'm interested in. I just like the concept in general, though, especially like early on when people don't really know anybody. Nobody's like, I guess they sort of picked each other, but like vaguely. It was like a low commitment setting. And so I just like it. It's an interesting concept.
Young-ho is definitely awkward about it. Do you think like being awkward about it is an indication of love or money versus like being confident about it?
I think it is an indication of confidence, experience in this situation. Like, we're gonna find out other people are models and are fine with this and just go to like, it's not even a thing for them, you know, and that holds no bearing on whether they're money or love. And I don't know, I think he's just awkward because he's an awkward dude and doesn't get his photo taken a lot, especially like holding hands with a girl he met yesterday.
It is one of these situations where I feel like whatever your natural instinct would probably take over whatever like your motivation was, as whatever your identity you were, like you're probably just going to do what you would naturally do. But I like the people that actually, well, the one like, so Suru is like a model, so like he literally just looks like he does this for a living when he does it, because he does do this for a living. But other people that like do well with it, I do think, I guess I'm inclined to think that like, okay, they're, again, like I think the money catchers are like willing to do a little bit extra.
Okay.
So like they might be like pushing through more with more motivation than like just a love catcher person would in this situation. That's at least my theory.
I think that mostly, like, at least on the guy's side, the people I think are money catchers are the people who are just more comfortable with the situation to begin with, and so are then able to use that to push it sort of to that next step of maybe making the girl feel a little special in a way that you would want to do as a money catcher, you know? So for me, it like goes hand in hand on that front.
You just think they're confident to be enough to be a money catcher, therefore
it goes with my money catcher probably equals fuck boy situation that I've been going with the whole time. Like there's just a natural
That's a
confidence. It
weird.
makes it easier to push
That
forward.
is definitely
Like
not a vibe I was
fuck boy is
rolling.
too intense, but like like
Interesting.
just the kind of guys who are more confident
Do you
with this
think
sort
the
of thing are like,
three
yeah,
shirtless guys are money catchers, and then Young Ho's a love catcher? Is that what you think?
no, I think Jung Hyun is not a money catcher, but the other two guys
Young Ho.
definitely are.
Okay. It would also be like kind of good information to us if we knew the ratio of money catcher to love catcher on previous seasons. Like I don't know, is it like consistently half and half? I'm not sure.
Maybe they didn't even let them pick before. Maybe picking is new. Who knows?
Oh, that's possible. The host and
I'm just kind of running. Yeah, I'm just kind of running under the assumption that we've got 2 male money catchers and 2 female money catchers. That's just how I'm gonna approach it. Yep. Because whether they choose or production pushes them that way, I'm just gonna run with it. I don't know that it's accurate, but here we are.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to talk about? Let's see. Who is? Yeah. So I thought Yu Jung was very good at the photo shoot. She was like directing Young Ho on what to do.
She also showed up in like some high fashion clothes that were totally different from what the other people were wearing.
They did definitely didn't get to choose their outfits. That was chosen for them for this, for sure.
Yeah, but like still her vibe was way different.
She had a big floppy hat for some reason. Yeah.
She had full on opera gloves on and is in like a velvet dress while like the other two are like, look at my beachwear or basically whatever. Like
okay.
It was different. It was pretty funny.
What is Yu Jung's profession? We're gonna find out. Is she the beauty teacher?
She's the beauty academy teacher. Yeah,
I guess she probably could have learned the modeling stuff at some point.
Yeah. That might be part of it. Yeah.
She was probably the second most confident after Suru, right?
Yeah.
All 3 of the guys, other than Young Ho, were pretty good. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get to like touch these girls. That's cool.
But yeah, this is mostly she's directing Young Ho around, or when it was Young Ho and Sung Young taking pictures, just the 2 of them. Like she was just trying to like make him smile and being cute with him to make him more comfortable.
Did you say Jung Hyung was the one you thought was love catcher?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was the one that named names, right? With the
yeah.
He was the one that he named names, and then in the opening restaurant thing, he kind of like. I feel like he like called out the drinking girl for like being younger, right? In a way that made me think like he wasn't into her, and he was like making it kind of obvious he wasn't into her.
Yep.
And then he's also going to talk in the photo shoot thing. He's also going to talk to Suji and say that he thinks she's young or something too, in a way that suggests that he also wouldn't be into her if she's young, right? So I feel like I feel like this guy has to be a love catcher. Like he's really kind of putting too much out there. He's letting people know that he's like not into them. He's got to be a love catcher, I think.
Yeah.
If there are love catchers on the show, he's got to be one of them.
Yeah. Okay. Under that condition, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he gets his photo taken with Suji and Hyojin, and I don't know, he does it first with Suji and she's fine or whatever. Like they're doing coupley poses and then it's Hyojin's turn. Well, she's actually like watching them do this and she's like scandalized by like they're so close. They are touching so much.
Yeah.
Like he's like leaning his head to the side looking like he's gonna kiss her in this one picture, just because he's like there to get the picture done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's her turn to take pictures with him, they're like flipping through a book. Like the photographer keeps like,
oh yeah, she gets like choose her poses, which we didn't see that
I think it's because Suji. Like every time the photographer suggests one, she's like, no, that's too. That's yeah, exactly. So eventually they're just like, walk on the beach and maybe hold hands, walk next to each other. Is that okay?
She does suggest like they hold hands and then like look into each other's eyes at some point. Yeah. But then the photographer makes them get like closer than she wanted to do that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so eventually they get the picture and it's cute. But I just think like how scandalized she was by most of this makes me feel like she's the love catcher.
That I agree. See, like she's like not. Yeah, she's not.
She can't fake
like the extra. Whereas like Suji, I feel like also was like not ready for the intensity of the photo shoot, but we didn't see like her struggling with it. Like she just did it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
she had the initial like, oh, this is awkward, but then it felt like she kind of just
She
got
pushed
through it.
through it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
which is like, yeah, I think somebody that's not pushing through is like more likely to be a love catcher, and somebody that's pushing through is more likely to be a
Yeah.
money catcher.
But so I did like
Jung Hyun seems to be fine
them
with
two
everything,
together because they were. Yeah, he's fine with whatever.
and
He's
he
taking
seems to
pictures
really
with
like
cute girls.
Hyojin. Like, is it this Hyojin like comes
Yeah.
out in like this like 2-piece like white outfit, right? Or like
Yeah,
something like looking extra nice, at least
hmm
Jung Hyun thing. So there seems to be a
She's
reaction
also sinking into the sand with her high heels or
yeah.
whatever. Like,
So
the whole thing.
I guess we both kind of think this could be two love catchers that are actually
Yeah,
vibing.
I like these two together.
The one host is all about these two as soon as after this photo shoot, right?
Yeah.
If you're rooting for two love catchers, this could be the best chance right now from the first 2 episodes.
Yes, I agree.
But I secretly hope that Hyojin is
Okay.
I secretly hope that she is just really bad with physical contact, but is actually some money catcher.
I mean, she did say in a confessional that she's just like, yeah, I don't do physical contact. I'm not chill with this. But
Yeah.
no, that might be it. She might still be a money catcher, but I'm gonna say
I'm here to win money, but I'm not willing to go that far.
she's got boundaries. Gotta respect them. You know.
Yeah. Whereas I feel like it's more likely that Hyojin is a money catcher than Jung Hyun, but they could still be love catchers. That's not what I'm rooting for, but it's all right.
Okay.
All right. There was another.
But yeah,
two.
our third group is Suru, Taeyoon, and Sungbum, and I enjoyed this photo shoot.
Yeah, they were all good and very willing to.
They got the closest out of everybody. Like they're like straight up just like the photos you would expect an actual couple to take. You know,
Yeah.
like in both pairs.
I did agree with like one of the host assessment that like you got like some of the pictures like of the final pictures of each pairing basically, and I did actually like, even though Hyojin was like awkward, I did like their pictures the best because like they seemed whenever like
really
they got
authentic.
whenever they got her to do a picture, like it seemed like an authentic moment compared to these.
Yeah, because she kept like laughing through her nerves.
Yeah, exactly.
And like those photos really came out.
Yeah.
Like, really great.
So that was interesting. So yeah, they all do pretty good in terms of like going along with what they're doing. But even though like they're the best, I didn't think they had necessarily the best photos.
Oh yeah. But I do feel like we've got a lot of Suru Taeyoon chemistry happening during this photo shoot.
Yeah, we're getting it. We're getting what we were teased this in episode 1, but it's happening episode 2.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the love mansion. Here we go.
Yeah. On the way back, though, the car taking Taeyoon, Suru, and Sungbum are like they're talking about age differences in the car because obviously, like her age is different than his. Like they know that much, they don't know how much by. But he says a lot of like he says some bullshit like, as long as it's less than 2 decades, I don't give a shit about an age difference. And he says that now, but that's not true later. I don't. It's just some silly.
I think he was like not being serious because he was, but then he was like talking about how like he used that number because like his mom is young.
Yeah, his mom is in her 40s.
Gave away that he was young because it's like our moms are in their 50s, maybe 60s.
Yeah, I got some awkward math, theoretical math happening there.
Yeah, I don't really get Suru in terms of like, he's like, I'm into older women, then he's like, age doesn't matter at all, and then he finds out her age, and then he's like,
makes a face.
Maybe that's too many years.
Yeah.
Maybe 8 is too much of a gap, actually. But if you're like a money catcher, you're like, it's still weird. It's too many years.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, so then they get back to the house, and then we've got just some Taeyoon Suru time, and they're sitting together talking, and she's just being real straightforward about like, we made a lot of eye contact today, huh? It's meaningful, right? Like she is the most straightforward I think I've seen anybody in any of these shows.
It's like an intense amount of straightforward that we've never seen before. Like it's extra, little extra motivation potentially on this. All right.
I think she's just super into this guy, and
okay.
Yeah.
Suru does apologize for not texting her, and then explains that he hesitated because she was like clearly older than him, and maybe didn't want to be like, I don't know. I guess he's saying like, I didn't want to be guy going after the older girl that isn't interested in me. But then I realized that you were
Yeah,
interested in
yeah.
me. I guess is like his logic. I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
that's sort of how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what else? Suji is pretty hard flirting with Sungbum, right? She's like, check out my pictures I took earlier
Oh,
today,
right.
right?
Yeah, they're like sitting on a couch next to each other. Yeah.
In front of Young-ho, right?
Yes.
And then Sungbum like gets up to go get something from the kitchen, and Young-ho decides to like come over and like awkwardly ask her about the pictures as well.
Mm-hmm.
Basically trying to have like the same conversation with her that Sungbum just had with her.
Yeah, yeah. Just trying to find an inn somewhere to talk to
And
her.
she's like, it seems like she's like not into him, but also she could just be thrown off by like his approach to starting the conversation and didn't really know
I
what he
think
was
that's
asking
what it
for.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then at some point,
Like she asked him to come and sit down next to her.
at
Then.
some point she does do that. It isn't right away though. Which I don't know is an indication of her like I don't know what honestly. This whole thing was like very weird.
It was very weird. Yes.
Yeah, and then she asks him to sit, and then he's like, I need to go get my book.
He makes
first.
a weird. Yeah, yeah.
So he goes gets the book and then comes back and like makes a really awkward joke about how that's like Sungbum's
Young
essence or something is on that seat, so maybe he shouldn't sit there. And she's like, what?
Yeah, it is weird.
My only thought was that like Sungbum sounds like bum. Like his butt. Like is that was like that the joke he was making? That's a weird like
the
Korean name
are
to
very...
English pun. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that was. But the host, regardless, the hosts were very disappointed in him at this point.
Yeah, and then she was like, "Yes, I think she was too." But then he sits there for a little bit and talks to her, and then as soon as Sungbum comes back, he immediately gets out of his seat and lets Sungbum sit down without Sungbum even like really
having to
trying. Yeah.
I mean, he was clearly going to come to try to kick him out, but like
you think he
didn't
was?
have to do anything. Well, yeah, he had like basically started crossing in front of her to like get to his part of the couch. I think like he was ready for this to happen. I don't know, but yeah, and then Young-ho just doesn't have a place to sit, and it's awkward, and it's a weird little interaction they have there.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just an awkward dude. I don't think that man could handle being a money catcher.
Oh, you just don't think so? My thought is this
don't think so.
Is this girl a love catcher and they're both money catchers? That's what I kind of think. She can't choose between two money catchers.
Maybe it's 3 money catchers. Just all 3 of them are just
yeah, that's
confused.
possible. All right. Yeah, this was super awkward.
Yep. But then they finally get to introduce themselves to each other on day 2.
Yes. So now they get to do introductions. This is a good like they got one day and then yeah, this is more standard now. All right, quick introductions. Well, actually we have to talk about each profession and which do we think this profession is more love or money. Okay. Song Young.
24-year-old piano major
student.
Yeah. So
yeah.
That feels more money catcher to me because she's in school and has no money.
Yes. A lot of almost everything that could tick the scale is going towards money catcher for Song Young. And I feel like everybody's picked up on it.
Yep.
Yeah. I like to think that everybody just thinks she's a money catcher and not that like nobody's interested in her. That's actually like a better narrative.
Yeah, that's true.
But okay. Jung Hyung.
29-year-old chef who owns a wine bar. Love catcher.
You think he's a love catcher, but is that profession?
Yeah, he's a professional who owns a fucking business. I think he's good. He's on the older side.
Wait. We said like, Sung Young's profession is money catcher? Like, why is a piano student a money catcher?
No, because she's a student and she has no money.
She has no money, okay. But is it better for her, like, long-term reputation to be a love catcher on the show? Because it is kind of like a public figure to some degree, right?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay.
I
still think she's a money... Either way, I think she's, like, a money catcher, but I don't know if her profession is the reason that I think that.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, chef is another one where, like, you're kind of trying to get your name out there, but you don't want to necessarily be a villain at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So love catcher makes sense for that, I think. Okay. Yujong,
26, assistant manager and lecturer at a beauty academy, but also a DJ.
but also a DJ. Yeah. This one I don't know if it really
that feels
matters.
like trying to get your name out, getting on TV. Don't want to be a villain.
Like the DJ thing seemed like more of a hobby, and I don't know if you're like a lecturer of beauty, like is that really like a public figure that you're worried about?
I don't know.
I don't
She
think
maybe
that
wants to get that name out about her academy more, or maybe she wants to move into doing like makeup like at a professional level for like celebrities
she
and
could,
shit. Like,
but I think compared to some of these other occupations, it's not like, oh, this person would really care about risking being a villain on a show. I don't think that this occupation.
I don't know. With the DJing and getting gigs, I feel like you wouldn't want to be a villain. Or would it be hotter to be a villain as a DJ?
I don't think there's like an occupation that indicates you are a money catcher, but I do think there are occupations that would make you more likely to be a love catcher, if you know what I mean. Like if you're more likely to want to be a good guy. Yeah. Which I don't know so much about this for Young Jung. I feel like I'm not putting a lot in there for her occupation. Okay. But okay. Hyojin.
25, and she works at a place that plans international conferences.
Yeah. She has to speak a lot of English for her job. And I feel like she sounds like Nadine from Singles Inferno when she speaks English.
Okay.
I feel like this one's not like I'm worried about being the villain necessarily.
Yeah.
So the hope's alive that she's a money catcher. All right. Suji.
22, also a piano major.
She's also a piano major student, yeah. But she made it seem like she plans on like teaching.
Yeah.
Later, which maybe she's like not planning to be like necessarily like a famous pianist necessarily.
But how are you going to respect your piano teacher who you saw be a money catcher on that show one time? Maybe,
yeah.
It's a difficult angle.
That's true. I don't think it's as public facing though. For whatever reason, even though they're both piano majors, for some reason I just felt like Suji was less of like planning to be a public figure necessarily.
Okay.
Young-ho.
28, majoring in elementary school education. Apparently, like, this is his second time back at school. He did some other stuff before and was not vibing with it. And now is a teacher and teaches children. And that's why he has so many lame jokes.
But not a public-facing figure, really.
Yeah.
So, still alive on the money.
Okay.
All right. Sungbum.
But he's got to be an example to the children. I don't
Fuck the children.
I don't. No, I think he's gonna teach the children that like love is more.
Give me my money, baby. I'll teach the kids how to make money. That's what's gonna happen.
Okay.
All right, what about Sungbum?
He's 28 and he's a rapper and also a runway model.
Yeah.
I feel like you can be a villain as a rapper. It's fine.
You could be a villain as a rapper. That's true.
And it just adds to the model mystique. It's fine.
That's possible.
You're going to come out agreed with all of my takes on these people, I swear.
No, actually, I'm definitely not. Okay. Taeyeon? 29.
Nope, that's a lie. She says that, but she's 31. And she's a team leader at a marketing company. And I like that when they do her package, the subtitles just say, a meticulous, flawless businesswoman.
Subaru is shocked by her age.
Yeah, he definitely makes a face. And I'm like, I thought a 20-year age difference was okay, my dude. Like, you can't be 9, so what's the problem?
I don't think team leader at a marketing company never necessarily cares. Like, they don't have to be, not public facing so much. Yeah. And then Suru.
He is 23, but a lot of his friends are 24, and he's a model.
A lot of his friends are 24 because he was born on January 1st.
Yeah, so it's that thing where like...
But isn't that the opposite direction, or am I just confused?
So what happens a lot of times if your birthday, and this is no longer true, they have changed the age situation now.
This
is
2022.
But yeah, back at this time, it was the Korean age thing.
Okay.
So if you were born in January, you're like considered the next year, right? So like a lot of people, when they introduce, like some people in here did it too, when they talk about their age, they just give the year they were born.
Yeah, but wouldn't he be older and therefore his friends would be younger than him?
No, because his friends were he hangs out with the people who were born like in the fall, like they're 24, So like if you think about people born at the end of the year, like he hangs out with those people. Like it's just a common thing where you are
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about
if
the wrong
your
direction. Okay, I got
birthday's
it. I got it.
in the
I was going the
beginning of
wrong
the
way.
year, you kind of tend to hang out with the people from the year before a
No,
little bit more. It's a
I
common thing.
fully understood that, and I was just like thinking about dates in the wrong direction. I see. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
I just like it as his like, he doesn't say, "Oh, my birthday's in the beginning of the year" at first. He goes, "But a lot of my friends are 24." It's just I don't know. It struck me as silly. But yeah, he is a model, as indicated by his face earlier when he's taking all those pictures.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, model. I could definitely see a model wanting to not be a villain, right?
I mean, he's not. If he was like an actor, I would be more like. I feel like he just has to look good as a model, right? It's okay if he's a money catcher on this. I think it's fine.
I mean, if you're painted as a villain on a show like that, definitely, and you're recognizable, like your face recognizable, it would limit like what products potentially
Or do you just
people
get the
want to see you in.
sexier products to model? Like you can take it in a vibe, in a direction.
I don't think
same way.
being a villain gives you sexier opportunities, does it?
Oh, 100% it
Do
does.
billions live a sexier lifestyle, sir?
I mean, okay, if I'm thinking in like traditional scripted television, your villains are always hot. It's just
My God,
maybe
I
not
don't
always,
think
but
that's
like a
true
lot
at
of
all.
times. Oh, it is true a lot of the time.
Not in like Disney movies, are they? They're usually like monsters
Well,
or like
you could be surprisut. Some of them
Cruella
are hot.
Deville,
Okay.
the Little
But,
Mermaid
like-
octopus. Who am I forgetting? Scar.
Oh no, people have a thing for Scar. Don't
Yeah, but
don't
is he
even
the
start.
hottest out of all the
I don't
lions
know.
in the kingdom?
I'm just saying a lot of times
All
villains are sexy coded, They're just a little bit hot.
I don't think it happens, but is it more common than not? I don't think that's true.
Oh, I think it's totally true.
Okay.
All I'm saying is that this man is a money catcher.
All right. I disagree.
Okay.
Yeah, would you be suspicious if you were on the show and someone that was 8 years different than you was into you?
I mean, it depends. Like that's the premise of all of these shows. Why you're not allowed to give your age, right? So you can vibe before you know the age difference.
Okay, you vibe with
right?
somebody and then you find out their age difference, and then you're on this show which has money catchers on it.
Okay.
Are you not a little bit suspicious?
I don't know. It depends on how well we vibed and how optimistic I'm feeling on a particular
I guess it'd be more of like if they kept like if they keep like right now like they didn't know your age either, right? So
Yeah.
I'm saying like I don't know.
I mean, this particular age difference is a little like he is pretty young.
Yeah.
It's
also even more uncommon that the guy is younger. So just like statistically,
happens.
The odds of them both being love catchers is very unlikely.
Yeah,
statistically.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, I also wouldn't blame her if she was like, "I'll just flirt with him for this week. It's fun, whatever. I'm not interested in anybody else. So even if he is a money catcher, I'll just hang out with this hot guy. Sure, like that could be what happens too. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there are other hot guys that you can hang out with, but okay.
Well, maybe she's, she might not vibe with any of the other ones. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, she actually got no text, right? So she's
Yeah.
kind of like, she doesn't have anything else to go off of. Yeah. All right. Let's do predictions.
Okay.
I got to write them down though, so that we can reference them later.
Okay.
First, we got Songyun.
Money catcher, 100%.
Money catcher. Agreed. Money. All right. Junghyun.
Love catcher.
I'll go love too. Yujon.
Ooh.
Oh yes, that one's getting spicy.
I don't.
Sarah.
Yeah. Now I don't know.
Say it. You know you want to say it.
Say what? What do I want to say? I think I want to say
guilty until proven innocent.
I think she's a money catcher.
Yes, me too. Okay, we're on the same page here. Okay, Yojin.
Love catcher.
Oh, you say love. Oh, this is so hard. All right, what's the spread?
Yeah.
What's this logic on the women here?
I don't remember, but for her, my logic is the photo shoot.
I was just trying to get an even spread on the women, like 3 and 2, assuming that's a thing.
Oh, Yeah, I think
Give me a
it's two
second.
are the. I think it's two.
So I believe there's I had to look at a cast list because they were weird about in the subtitles they use they were weird about showing the
Yeah,
names
they didn't always
sometimes.
give the names. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I looked at a cast list. There's going to be a 10th member and it's going to be a guy at some point. I think they give that away at the end of
Okay.
at the preview of episode 2 actually.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right.
So like I don't know if there's like an even it's going to be like a 5-5 split or like the show wants to have more love than money. I'm not sure.
I'm just picking 2 and 2.
Oh, I want Hyojin to be money so bad.
But do you really believe it?
Oh, I don't know. Uh did I have any clues? What was the logic we used?
My logic was the photo shoot. She
Oh
didn't
yeah,
really
she was
push
very she didn't
through.
really push through on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say love. I don't want to though. It's not what I'm rooting for.
I am a little like I think like she's the one where I'm like maybe she will be my disappointing money catcher person because I like her and I don't want her to be a money
Not
catcher thing.
disappointing. Okay.
But
Suji.
Love catcher.
I'm gonna agree. We're 100% the same so far.
Told you I was gonna get you over to my
I feel
side.
like I got you. Young Ho. We're not gonna agree on this one. Money,
Oh yeah,
baby.
yeah. I mean that's a love catcher. He's an
Money. He's
awkward
in it
man.
for the money. All right. He's just he doesn't have to like be in it for the money. He just knows he should be a money catcher. It's smart.
Okay.
Sungbum.
Money catcher.
What was it? He was a rapper, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's also money. Oh yeah, he's the one going after Josie too. Taeun.
Love catcher.
Oh, money all the way. And Suru. I think we're only gonna disagree on 3. I think Suru is love.
Suru's a money catcher.
Okay.
Money catcher.
So we only disagree on Youngho, Taeun, and Suru after 2 episodes.
Okay.
But I want Hyojin
You want
to be
everyone
money.
to be a money catcher.
No, I want to be right about Suru.
Okay.
Well, I want to be right about some people, but I'll be more disappointed if somebody I thought was money actually ends up being love for sure. All right, so what's this? Let's say so for women we have 1, 2,
And I'm gonna say
3.
with no information, the new guy is gonna be a money catcher.
Oh yeah, so what's weird about the new guy in the previews is like it seems like he just rolls up to the house and has to immediately select before meeting anybody, which
Yeah.
is like,
Mm-hmm.
would a game changer really be on the show and being a love catcher? Like, is that a thing? Then I don't know the spread. I think my spread of like money to love is not good, but I'll stick with it anyway.
What do you mean?
Like, I think I have Tan, Yoo-jung, and Sung Young as money. Oh, that's only 3, right?
Yeah.
And then for the men, I think I'm 2 too.
Yeah.
But for the women, you're 3 love 2 money, and I'm 3 money 2 love. Okay, so that's not crazy.
Yeah.
I am like inclined to think the show would want to have, if they're gonna have more of anything, it's probably love.
Yeah.
But I'll stick with my guesses anyway. Who knows? Maybe in reality they could just choose whatever the hell they wanted.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe they can all be love, they can all be money. I don't know.
Well, there's got to be one money because that's who the host was for the secret night.
There's definitely one money at least now, unless they can change later. All right.
There, we did it so fast through that episode because that's literally the end.
The other thing in the previews is that it seems like the Young Ho and Sungbum rivalry is not going to go away.
Yeah.
Seems like that's going to be a thing, and they're both going to be like, I don't know. I can't tell like who is more like. Did you pick Sungbum as money? Yeah, you did.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it does feel like Sungbum is probably like more likely money, unless he just has like this kind of like dominating personality naturally. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
like,
he might also. That might be true.
Yeah.
Was he the one that said he was super competitive? One of them in their intro did. I feel like it might have been him.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. All right, that was fun. We have to just follow up on this show at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, please, listeners, let us know when the Love and Money is revealed, so we can plan around podcasting the rest of the season around that. And I want to try to do final predictions before they're revealed, and then we'll come back and see how many we got right. And we have no idea how obvious it's supposed to be. Like, I'm assuming like they're definitely going to lead us on to believe somebody's love or money, and then it's going to be the opposite.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
maybe like they'll leave out some details that could have been helpful. Like I assume that that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's a bigger reveal at the end of the show? Whether or not people were love or money, or who they're going to choose in the end.
Well, it's the combo because if you get the perfect, like, if this Suji love triangle continues and then she picks the wrong one, like, that's a big moment, you know? It's the her picking one of them and he's a money catcher. Oh no! Like,
Like
yeah.
the people that are going to couple in the end of the show are going to be the main characters of the TV show, obviously, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like, I'm still curious if Sung Young is actually a money catcher or if she's just a love catcher that was like nobody liked, basically. Like that's still interesting to me.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Mm-hmm.
like, they're gonna first reveal. I hope they first reveal who chooses who, and then like. I don't know if they have to like meet each other and then reveal to each other if they're love or money. Like, I hope it's in that order, you know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't. I don't want to know who is love or money and then see who they pick. I'm more.
Yeah.
I think whether they're love or money is more of a climactic moment to me than who they pick
Yeah,
on
yeah.
this show.
Definitely.
So I hope that that's
Although,
the way
like,
they
I
do
could
it.
see them revealing the people who didn't get paired up and then, like,
Oh, get them out of the way. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
But we find out that they didn't pair up before we find out what they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So we'll figure out how to talk about this show more later.
Yes.
Anything else?
So far, really loving this show. I think it's been a nice change of pace from the longer ones we've been after recently. I like that it's a little spicy.
The episodes are still long.
No,
It's just
well, I
not as
mean,
many
like,
episodes.
it's only 8 days. Like,
Oh,
we're
eight
not we're
days.
not
Yeah.
settling in for a long journey here. So the speed feels different,
Yeah.
and I love how forward Teo got in this and was just like, let's just be spicy right away and talk about how much eye contact we had all day. Like, I'm enjoying it. It's a good time.
Oh, you like Taeyeon's strategy? Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. The shorter days does make it seem like less of a these people are serious about finding love,
yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Or at least like it's not the goal of the show. To me, this like in terms of just if I was gonna be on a TV show, this is like probably my favorite one.
Okay, yeah. I mean, there are lots of reasons to go on this show. You could maybe try to win some money, but also you could just have a nice vacation week in Bali. I
Yeah,
think that sounds fun.
yeah. Whereas like Singles Inferno, like it's not it is like a island vacation, I guess, but it's also like those people you don't get like the best conditions of living. So it's
Yeah,
like
you don't get to do
you're a little
things
more
that are,
like, okay, if you
yeah.
want to go on the show, it's like you got to care about love maybe a little bit, you know, to go
Or
on
at
that
least
show.
you got to pair up with somebody to go to paradise, so you can have the actual fun time.
And
Yeah.
then the other, like Heart Signal. Now you don't have to go, like you get to still do your job or whatever, but like I think it's a pretty time consuming thing that lasts for multiple weeks.
Yeah.
Like you're definitely more inclined to
It
be
seems exhausting.
serious about the objective of the show by if you decide to be on that show.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
But this is like the best show to be on because it's short. You have multiple objectives to choose from. uh and yeah, you can decide to, decide to play your cards however you want to play them. Way more fun. Do you even have to be single to be on this show, Sarah?
Oh, I just feel like ethically, yes, you should
Yeah,
be single.
I
If
would
you're gonna be on
think
this
everybody is single on this show, yeah. But also theoretically, like if they wanted a full on, if somebody was willing to be like a full on villain, they could just be like, yeah, I'm in a relationship. I'm here for the money. Everything I do is fake. Like,
show. Oh,
which again, like I don't really have a
guess.
problem with it. Like it's,
I mean, as long as their partner's okay with it.
if the show, if there's like a mechanic in the show where like, oh yeah, their partners would have to be fine with it, but that would be like, yeah, they're trying to win money for their for their spouse or whatever. But if there's a mechanic on the show where like they want people to be tempted to switch, then it makes no sense to have people that are already in a relationship on the show because like they're never going to switch, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And if they did,
I
like
mean,
that's,
they might.
I mean,
They might.
if they did, I think that's more of a mess than the show wants to
Yeah.
have, right?
Yeah, that's not Korean reality TV.
Yeah.
That might be American reality TV.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it's like if it was just known that like I can go on the show, be a money catcher, and like you're not gonna have the opportunity to switch, like that's not like part of the experiment of the show, then
Hmm.
I don't really have a problem with it. You're just on a show trying to win money.
I
You're
would
like anybody
feel
else that's a money catcher,
worse
really, except like there's no
if
chance.
if I would feel worse if I was a love catcher on this show and got duped by a money catcher who
Oh,
has a partner.
whatever. You're a fool. You're a
Okay.
fool to be on the show as a lover catcher to begin with.
It would just not be a fun experience. I don't.
Yeah, so don't be a
Yeah,
love
I would
catcher.
not.
Be a money catcher.
Oof. Okay, but even if I'm a money catcher and I get duped by a money catcher with a partner, also feels real bad.
Why? You were also trying to win money.
Still feels bad. You know, I don't like it.
Like if it was like an American show and like you're like making out with people and you're already in a relationship, like that feels kind of dirty. I guess like I was thinking about on this show, it's like they never really do anything. That's like
Yeah.
they never really cross the line of like if you were in a relationship with somebody like
But I mean, it's
physically
not
at
just
least
physical
like
stuff.
they do
Like,
say stuff to each other, but yeah.
yeah, there you could get into like an emotional connection situation, and it would not. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, would
It's
not enjoy
I
that.
assume that that's not the case, but I was just thinking like
Yeah.
if somebody was like going to be great TV and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to be a money catcher on your show." Are you necessarily going to be like, you'd be we really want you, but it's I don't know, maybe you let them
You're
through.
just not
I don't
single.
know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
All right. Next time. Oh, this is fun. If anybody's still listening to this podcast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Next time, we're going to talk about a new show that's coming out. It's not even released yet, but
Yeah.
on October 22nd on Netflix.
You mean November 22nd?
What did I say? October? Sorry. On
October.
November 22nd, a new show on Netflix called Squid Game The Challenge, which is a reality TV game show based on the show Squid Game.
Which you have not seen.
Which I have not watched because I tried to watch it and then within the first like 5-10 minutes it got to a part that made me squirm like
Yep, yep.
and then I said
Got
I'm
gross,
done with this show because I don't like that stuff. So I didn't make it through Squid Game. So I haven't watched the show, but I'm down to watch Squid Game The Challenge because nobody's actually going to get really like fucked up on that show.
One would hope.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be silly, and we'll see what we're just gonna check it out, see what it's about, and you can explain to me like, is this what happened on the
How it's
show?
different
How is
from
it
the
different?
show,
Like, is
yeah.
it the same except they're just not murdering them?
The trailer looked the same.
It seems like episode 1, which is probably where we'll start with. Like, they're gonna play, from what Sarah told me, like the same game they played in the first game in the Squid Game TV show. But they're not going to be shot with bullets; they'll be shot with paintballs or something instead.
Yeah.
But but they have the exact same amount of people, so I think it's 456 people, right? That's how many people they casted to be on this Squid Game The Challenge. That's so many people, and then the prize pool is like $4.56 million, which is the same as it was in the TV show, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
I just don't know how they're gonna.
I'm so curious to see what it is. Oh, because you know what
Like,
happens at the end. Okay.
I mean, it basically it's a fight to the death at the end. I don't know how you're gonna.
You can do that with anything, any sort of
it.
physical match that isn't actually killing each other.
I guess you just do this with a lot of big cushiony things for people to fall on. I guess it's fine. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I have no idea I have no idea what happened on the actual show. So
There's just a lot of people died in the actual show, so
I think you can
it's
make
a weird
anything.
thing. It's
I'm
a
sure
weird
you
thing
can
to
make
make a
anything.
game show out of.
Yeah. All right.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So that'll be fun. That'll be the next thing we talk about. Yeah, Thanksgiving week next week. We'll see how much of a fast of a turnaround we have, but keep us on your notifications. We'll pop up. It'll be fun. All right. Anything else, Sarah?
No. I think that's it.
Alrighty. Where can people contact us?
People can email us at keepwatchingpod@gmail.com, tweet at us at keepwatchingpod, Instagram at us at keepwatchingpod, or leave a comment under this video on YouTube, also at keepwatchingpod. And if you want to tell us if you would be a love catcher or a money catcher, you can leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Wait, what was the question we asked earlier? It wasn't what you would be, right? Oh,
Who
what
did
are
we
you
ask
rooting? Who are
earlier?
you rooting for on the show? You rooting
Oh
for?
yeah, who are you? Well, you can tell us all the things.
Yeah, if
Are
you're rooting
you
for
are you
love
rooting
catchers.
for love catchers, money catchers, a particular person? What kind? How would you play this game? Tell us all the things. Excited to.
Yeah. What was the actual question that we were debating though? What was the big debate?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you were saying that you would
Oh, if it would be stressful
it would
to
be
be
stressful.
a
Yeah.
money
Do you
catcher.
think it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
actually? Yeah, that was like I'm not getting you at all. That would you be more stressed as a money catcher or a love catcher? Because you could also say like I would be more stressed as a love catcher because I'm worrying about like somebody fooling me as a money catcher. Whereas if you're a money catcher, like you can also be fooled, but you're also a money catcher, so like you're not going to be as devastated. I think. I don't know. You can see it either way. That's why I think it's a wash. So you
Yeah,
might
for
as well
me,
just be a
it's the
money
act
catcher.
of fooling people feels hard
Oh, okay.
and stressful.
I guess I
So,
get that for you, but I don't actually logically I don't follow you, but I see how you feel that way. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, yeah,
Um.
yeah.
Alrighty.
But yeah, let us know how you guys feel.
Lots of fun. Alrighty. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.